Everybody shared up. Men munching on chips and thing in the back there, just chilling, vibes in.
Just pick up the music.
We do everything big at Tape Gallery, you know. So here was the scene. Welcome back to the Tape Gallery Thursday stream. Oh, I don't know what's the scene, right? So this is the art stream. This one gonna be a little different. You know, we have the 10th stream. No. We had the 10th stream last week.
The show TT.
Yeah, big up, breakfast, big up all the we have a breakfast tonight too. Big up.
Breakfast tonight.
Yeah, breakfast tonight. You wanna swing through? You see what you see. Alright, so tonight gonna be a little different, guys. Right, this is gonna be an art stream. We have some like talented Caribbean local artists here in the background. Some new faces for the Tape Gallery Tuesday stream number to switch it up a little bit now. So we're gonna see what's going on with the back now. I don't know if you all don't know how we just do it, but we like to go around the room and see how everybody feeling first.
Back in primary school days.
Back in primary school days now. But you gotta introduce yourself basically. Alright, so let me start. Well, I know your name. Your name is Francois.
You go in and order age chart. My name is Francois LeBlanc, illustrator, graphic designer, recent winner of Reebok competition.
Big up.
I like how it starts at the portfolio.
The contract states are stated.
Right.
Alright.
So I have a couple questions for every artist here. So, but then everybody will introduce yourself. But you know, I just wanna. So your name is Francois,
Yeah.
right? I just wanna know like when you started out real quick. Like at what age? Real quick.
I think I was like about 10.
10.
Yeah, right.
All right, let me pass it. Let me go to the next person. So we have
Jamai. The people might know as a plug, but that's what you know what my real name.
You serious?
Yeah.
For real?
The man hits when we are weekend dog. He's not well.
I plug hard, but I feel like when I come up with it, I was young and I wasn't that confident. I know I just feel more confident and I just feel like the work I'm playing out now is more me. So, you know, so I want to write my name. I want people to know that is me.
We had a hit the artist formerly known as.
Artist formerly.
I can run with that. I can put out the tag on the Instagram.
Artist formerly known as.
Someone knows that plug, yeah. I like that.
Plug. But our plug was always hard, dog, and I know you do real stuff over there. Now our plug that was going around for a while, dog. But like when it started, like what age? Like when it felt like
ever since, boy.
Ever since.
Yeah, boy.
Since it come out the womb.
Come on, you with that pencil.
I feel like that's me too, to be honest. Since it come out the womb, that's how I'm feeling.
Yeah.
So yeah, dog. Pink hats. Drip down, drip till I die. Should have drip that. Should have a little drip check real quick now. A little drip check.
I didn't know we had to dress up, you know. I know we had to dress up.
We promote all art. We promote all art. Oh, what you have? We promote all art. We promote all art, so it's like fashion, everything now, boy. So if you're into it, I think you're into, and you tell me you was into thrifting.
Yeah.
Right. So introduce yourself, dog. Tell the Tape Gallery stream who you are. Oh shit, man. Dropping my thing. Wait. Yeah. Tell the people who you are.
I am Tanti Romani. I am a visual media artist. Primarily do illustration, photography, and videography. I'm also the founder of the Art Forum.
Big up.
Yeah. I don't know what else I want to say. I don't know what else to really.
That's always the way you make sure, and I know you take photos, and you're an artist that kind of like, and I've seen you for a while out there doing the art forum, and you're an artist that kind of like in like a dip and dabble in all the different forms, in all the different everything now. Yeah, in it now, boy. Anything that's called art is in it, huh?
Yeah.
Everything cool?
I don't know.
All they good?
You're supposed to pay attention. You said we talking this whole time, man. Mine on. Mine on the green light.
Yeah,
Shit,
Oh, we
shit.
good.
That's
We
what
good.
we did this one.
Wait, what going on here? Has an echo. Michael Forrest. What was he seeing? Forrest, he
probably
coming
too
with the
close,
technical
though.
thing, boy. Or they're probably too close. Maybe between. Yeah, good there.
You good there?
Forrest, you go tell us. Forrest coming with the technical thing, boy. But what's he seeing, though?
Love boy, right?
Love boy, what's he seeing, boy? You man pull up on the stream to Lime, dog. But we was now getting into who everybody was and thing and what was going on.
The
Was he
people
vibes?
want to know why Tanti. People
Why?
behind me.
Nah, for real, no. That's what the people.
No, this man beat me. They said that thing like why not?
But no, it's crazy because that's the thing that we do on the tape gallery stream. We want to know like why you pick your name and thing. I was gonna ask you why Hot Plug, but I know you just using your normal name, right?
Yeah. I use my
Old
name.
school vibes. You understand? So, no, go ahead.
I was gonna say that word because the name on Instagram tag is Francois is Henry.
No. That's my full name, Francois Ari. That's my full first
Oh.
name. But when I was getting my new birth certificate, they forget to put the next part, and I just kind of roll with it now. But
Wait.
like, so my name, people who know me, right? They know my brother. Big up KB, long time friend. Yeah, you understand? His name is Jean Michel, right?
Yeah.
So my name is Francois Ari, but when I went to get a new birth paper, they forgot to put the second part, so I just kind of roll with it now.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's crazy though.
Yeah, that's real. That's a real story.
That's a real.
That's
story.
an exclusive they get there.
Yeah, they get an exclusive tip. They get exclusives, you know. Right? I know a lot of people don't really focus, especially when it comes to art in Trinidad. Like a lot of people don't focus on like the actual people behind the pictures that they see, the art that they see now. But that's what like tape gallery is about. Because with music artists, again, they see a face, but you don't get to see like who make that cover, who took the photos, who edited the video, who do that. Because it have a lot of other people behind that person doing the work now, boy. And that's what we kind of want to showcase here now, boy. We want to showcase that have people out here, other than the music artists, other than the people doing maybe a lot of localized art. Because I pre everybody Instagram, and that's something I want to do tonight. We're gonna pre the instas, and that's like we pre instas tonight.
Let me make sure and take off them photos.
I know we pre the insta tonight, right? I realize that you all have a lot of influence from the things that you probably you looked at as a child, and also like your culture too now, and that's a beauty of it, kind of mixing it too. That's a vibe, and that's what we're trying to do with music as well now. And I was an artist too back in the day too. I wouldn't say back in the day because I still draw, but yeah, I just kind of dabble.
We pre in your Instagram too.
I mean, I have an old artist Instagram. We could probably pre that. I have an old one, like a real old one. But let me, yeah, I tell you, yeah, you swear. But let me go around the room and get everybody like kind of story, dog. We know at what age. Well, Jimmy, see from the womb. You see from the womb. Yeah, right. I didn't really get it from you, Tanti.
I feel it's the same way for me.
From the womb.
Yeah, because like I don't think I remember myself not drawing.
And you feel so too.
No.
You feel
for me, drawing came a bit later. I could probably say exactly. I have an uncle in Arima. He's an artist, and just being around him and stuff like that, I started to pick up painting, drawing, and it really kind of picked up steam when I went CIC now, but
yeah.
We had a
You had a plug.
shout out Mr. Rez to everyone. You know what I mean? And no, real talk, he always encouraged us to experiment now, but so it wasn't just if you're a drawer, you're just drawing and thing now, but you're doing digital, you're doing clay sculpting and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I had that foundation
Touching all the forms.
that I say most people didn't really have, or I would say that I realize some people that's not exposed to, like wherever they kind of lucky in that one form and that's it.
Yeah.
But because of that, I just started to draw more and stuff like that. But real talk, I used to study like businesses and shit, dog.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and I feel art. Our next
Serious?
exclusive.
That's
I feel art in Form 5, dog. complete fail. I'm not talking about no, I got a 3. I talking about a 5.
A 5.
I
Let
completely
go on you.
failed.
What about you, Jemai? What you getting at?
I feel so.
You feel the
You get graded.
you get ungraded. I know. No, but I guess the greatest artist can't be graded. You understand what I'm saying? I guess the greatest can't be graded. What would you feel? You get? I think I.
Nah, I mean,
I should never. I guess we should have never get. I get 2 as well. I get 2. That's crazy. Anyways, all right. So,
I would say so.
uh,
Well, as you was talking about the competition, he was just where he won, right?
yeah.
And I would say, like, from that competition and another competition I entered recently, art is very much subjective. I don't think art. Okay, so in the competition, the first round, it seems like the like what I was looking for was who could follow the prompt.
Yeah.
Right? That was the biggest thing, right?
Yeah.
But looking around the room, personally, this is a personal opinion, again, art is subjective.
Yeah.
I suppose we should have been there because, because it was 5 people moving on. And I said, people should have been for the people who was there because I like creativity, use of colors, and you know what I mean, as an artist, from an artist's point of view, you know what I mean, things that, you know, some come up.
Different, yeah.
You definitely want to consider a video, no thing, right? But,
Yeah.
but, you know what I mean? And then I went into the next competition, and again, art is very much subjective. You have no idea what the judge is looking for. You have no idea what people want. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a good creator. You could make something look good,
Yeah.
but you have no idea what the people are looking for. You understand where I'm coming from?
And that comes from your background too, no? Because that's what art is about, like your life experiences now.
I would shine some light on in terms of like the competition aspect of it, right? Very much so. You can be creative and stuff like that, but there's a point where you have to remember that you're not creating for yourself. You're creating for other people to kind of catch the vibe too now, right? You know what I mean? So, especially in our first round, where it was about music, movement, and mastery, you find a lot of people kind of zoning on the fact that, oh, well, it had to be Caribbean. No, they didn't say that now, boy. You could actually exploit however you take it now, boy. And I think the creativity aspect is really come with how you understand the prompt versus the thing. So I get that artist is subjective and it will be subjective to some point, right? When it comes competition wise, you always have to remember that you're not creating for you. You're creating for the masses now, boy.
But second competition, right? I don't know thinking now, you know what I mean? Like kudos to them, like you clearly understand that, right?
Yeah.
But I will say that you said something about it not being too Caribbean or writers, right?
Yeah.
Two people out 35 had one was a steel pan, I think, or a steel pan inspired piece.
Yeah.
And the other one was literally a Trinidad flag. And it's all coming from number.
Okay.
So it's just very much subjective. Because if I was in a competition, I would have never done nothing that's screaming Trinidad, right? To me, it is a little bit lame. Because you see it growing up so much that every time you hear somebody create something that locally inspired is always like the same piece of the pan, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't say lame, but
I know, but
Wait.
I understand.
But let me just add to what you say. It's more about how you use it, right? So for instance, the way I could talk about my print, because there were other people who, again, we were talking about this outside. Technically, dog, the skill there, dog. You understand? One for one, they're real bad.
But technical is one thing, correct?
But technical is one thing, right? Because how I decided to tell my story, I use this show as a comic book now, boy. And I was paying homage to a fallen music teacher of mine. So the movement aspect of it didn't just come from the fact that it's on a shoe. It also come from the fact that you have to move across the shoe to get the story. So you started to think outside the box now, boy. You understand? So adding to his point, and not disproving his point. If all you feel that is what going on there, adding to his point, when you're choosing whatever you decide to do and whatever like that, right? You always have to remember that even if you're choosing something, as we go say, a little corny, you know, you still have to think outside the box now, boy. How I going and represent this in a unique way, but still be familiar to who are presenting it for. You know what I mean?
I think that's on another level. Because I say that to say like, when you say like I understand what you're saying, but when you created it, that's what it was given. It was given something better than you know what I mean? Because alright, I would say that other people had actual emotion in the artist that they did, but no, and then what he's saying is that the emotion comes from looking around the show. Which again, if it's sticking on theme, because when the judges, when they went on the stage, it was like everything was so good, and we had to come out, so we stick the team mostly, that's not the only thing, right? And it's like, if the emotion part would have been, if that's what he explained to them, would have been them going around the shoes. Then again, artists, I just proved to a point that artists subjective, but other people literally had, like you see somebody dancing on the shoes. That is literal emotion. And it's all coming from. So it's like, so that's just it. So like, you have right ideas in terms of thinking.
Yeah.
Execution definitely piece of it.
Yeah.
But I respect everybody who goes down with but you understand it.
Yeah, and that.
I want to use one mic instead of both.
Alright, I have no scene.
Okay, so all of us?
Yeah. Cool. Alright, cool. So yeah, now going back to that though, back to the competition and the fact that artists like literally just the most subjective thing on the planet. Literally, unfortunately, the most subjective thing on the planet. I kind of want to get a gauge because I kind of like artist life, right? And the reason art is subjective is because when you go through life, right, you pick up different things, you're influenced by different things.
Yeah.
That's would you agree with me?
Yeah.
For sure. I feel like art is mostly influence.
Yeah, it's mostly influence, right?
Yeah.
So I want to kind of like go around the room and like ask everybody where influence lie now. You understand? And I think, yeah.
How long we have, boy?
Well, yeah, so I wanna get a little bit from maybe time.
My influence.
Yeah, you have a mic? Yeah. Okay, cool.
My influences kind of stemmed from like the things I see around me, like initially, like starting, like growing up, like drawing and stuff. Like I'll draw people in class. I'll draw like my aunt, my uncles, my friends, things that are interested in cartoon characters, anime, animals. Just like whatever I was like interested in at that point in time would be what I would be drawing.
Whatever was around.
Yeah, and I kind of get more into like exploring like personal influences, like my thoughts and stuff like that, like coming into like second year, going to do like more like surrealist, like abstract shit, you know?
Shit.
Yeah, like, and it was like a sad wire type vibe.
Yeah. And like kind of like expressive.
Yeah, like expressive shit.
Yeah.
A man used to listen to the emo rock when you see that.
That was excellent something.
So do you have any sort of media or like a artist that you've been influenced by, like who what media made you feel like now, but I put pen to fucking people?
Kim Jong-gi. And it's literally
big one.
I literally need to put pen to fucking people.
Okay, but he's a great one. I feel like he's a prodigy. I feel like
he is a very hard person.
Should the stream going on with that? But let me get from Jemai though.
Yeah. What's the question?
The question was your influences. Yeah.
So my influences.
Now we kind of flash it out for you a little bit because I know we was talking plenty. The beat up all they be all themselves, so they relax. So the question was, as you go through life, artists is kind of imitated, right? So like, what are your influences that made you like when it comes to media, all of that stuff? What are your influences that made you be like, yeah, I watched this or I see somebody do this? That was like, yeah, pen to people.
So.
Yeah.
So we start with anime, right?
Well, I'll go. Sounds good. Everybody kind of, you know? Yeah.
No, so you want to do it for me?
For real. For sure. I feel like that's everybody kind of like.
Yeah, gateway.
I wasn't into Naruto though.
Really?
Unfortunately, I still.
Any anime that was a gateway?
No, my gateway was real fucked up. It was actually Princess Mononoke.
Nah, I watched great.
I watched
as a gateway.
I was like 7 when I watched it, though. I had nightmares about that fucking thing. When you should move it inside. That fucked me up, though.
Princess Mononoke.
No, even as I done, that one kind of pick out.
That fucked me up, though. I did, bro.
But so he was saying so Naruto was
Naruto kind of pushed the he wanted to do more art or kind of go in a like a storytelling aspect of my art.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you could tell, like from what I used to post on Art Plug, I think what really inspired me is where I'm from, the people that are around, and daily life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so
the more I come into the creative space, the more I realize like my personal, so it's a little bit different. You know, I don't want to seem like one of people, but it's a little bit different now.
Yeah.
Man. A lot of times it's like when I work a lot of creatives, it's like I just can't relate to what's going on now, but I just find like I was using the art to kind of stay grounded to that now, but because it's like it's happening and I go when I'm feeling like exhausted because the creative space is where I want to be in to grow creatively. But it's like I don't really relate to nobody now, but you understand where I'm coming from. So sometimes it's like I was in a creative space and then it's like I just find myself back doing non-creative things because I'm feeling so exhausted.
Like exhausted,
you know what I mean? So I find myself doing a lot of non-creative things just to go back to, you know, what I feel like I am now, but you know what I mean? So, but yeah, that's what I would say is my biggest influence.
Your biggest influence was kind of like anime and Naruto and stuff.
Yeah, and then real life.
And then real life
people.
Like real life people too.
Yeah.
And I see that you do that in your art too. You kind of mix that kind of like style of that kind of anime style, but it's grown from that too. It's grown from just like the Naruto anime style. It's grown to like a Caribbean anime style. It's really cool.
That's a next thing too. I had this one teacher in school.
Yeah.
But he was my only art teacher in school. He used to write course off on during anime. He was like that is their culture. They know why they do it like this, and like you just replicating what you're seeing.
Yeah.
And so nothing that was looking anime like he wouldn't accept.
Yeah.
So it's like it have to be because you also said that same thing, like your art is your experience. You can't just look at something and try to replicate that, you understand? So
now
so he forced me to
I think art is just supposed to be free. Why should it have a limit on it now, man? It shouldn't no. That's my thing.
I agree with that.
That's a bigger conversation.
But I think like the people who express them authentically, the people that react better to them.
Yeah, true.
You understand?
True.
Than you copying something like use a black person drawing anime. You
Yeah.
understand? Now, it's one of the people that might fit you the crack.
Come on.
But a lot of the times you just see like it have a lot of black animes that nobody picking up on.
Come on.
Because you know
Look
it's
at
not
Boondocks,
it's
look at
not
Boondocks.
look at
Look at Boondocks.
I don't know if anybody remember Neo Yokio. I was very excited for that,
Come on,
and then
yeah.
that was trash. It just
Yeah.
it missing a certain je ne sais
Yeah.
quoi. It don't have that little piece. You understand where I come
yeah,
from?
it
So I
does.
try to keep that in my work now, but you know, I already take the influence from anime in terms of the lines, colors, the expressiveness.
Yeah.
And after that, I feel like everything else should be my experience now, but after it's already expressing it.
Yes, you mix it up. So,
Yeah.
Francois, what do you think? What do you think about that? Like, what are your influences when it comes to media? When it comes to like other artists maybe around that you may have been influenced by
Well-
in the local scene? You know.
But first of all, I gotta show my age now, bro.
Sure it. I mean, what?
So in the early 2000s,
Ah.
right? I'm a boy here looking young KB, but we wrong the same age. Don't let him fall. Don't let him fall here. That jet black dying in full and nobody.
Oh, the man die here.
Man diapers here, dog. So we grew up in the skating culture. So it's skating, hip hop, graffiti, stuff like that. So my influence actually started with graffiti and streetwear brands now, boy. So we talking about
Hip hop.
So we were deep in the scene, and in terms of trying to be good that time, Rapso was doing it, the
Yeah.
Treason and stuff like that. So we definitely grew up in a I don't want to say the anime we had was Samurai X, Desert Punk, them old
Still
school.
good to that.
You know what I
Still
mean?
good to, yeah.
All of that, right?
Hard as fuck, though.
Yeah,
That
so-
was like my first like series.
So
Yeah.
like in our thing, we would normally be out in the streets and causing it, so graffiti was really my thing. So we talking about the Andy Warhol, we talking about the Keith Harrington, the Jean-Michel Basquiat, men who was doing it in Trinidad at the point in time. Individual, shout out Keegan, Nick, can't remember his full thing, but
At some point I want to get name drop artist name drop.
you know what I
come, so,
mean?
Hey, well, go ahead.
we have Obey Giant, we have the Hundreds, we have Vans was doing their thing, Red Bull was doing their thing.
Yeah.
Shout out our next Caribbean artist, well, Trinidadian actually, Jap, he was doing graffiti all over
Jap.
Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah.
He was the one who do the big Woodbrook sign. You know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah, so
I think you're lucky that you get to experience
That's
that.
cool.
you understand?
Yeah.
So you don't know that sign, dog? So
Yeah.
I studied if somebody archived that,
I
dog.
didn't.
He do the big. There was a big
I didn't know he
graffiti
did that.
Occupy Undercroft and Yui at a point in time. He do that too. You know what I mean? So these are the influences I had now, boy. And again, I talking about the era where GTs was a van selling clothes. It didn't even have the GTs jersey yet, kind of vibes. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? No, but I just saying. No, I saying like I was in the middle of all those scenes happening at one streetwear was now getting identity kind of vibes and things soon now, but Supreme wasn't.
Oh well, yeah,
Supreme, you know what I mean? So niggas, sorry. That's when people used to wear. That's when people used to wear like Aeropostale, but it's just big arrow. Yeah, all they know that for sure.
That's a dark time in fashion. And it was dark time. Yeah. That's it.
No, listen. No, I said the same thing. But it can pull up looking different and it can be appreciated now. But compared to a long time, if you never understand it, you don't have that shit on.
Yeah, you can't.
You know, it's the T-Fed thing with that. You know, it's the T-Fed thing with that. I had a Hollister jersey from the site itself, right? Yeah. And I telling people, dog, Hollister starts off as a streetwear brand. That HOL thing all they're wearing, right? Yeah. That's not the real thing. That's the discount stuff now, but I remember my cousin lifted that from me, by dog. Yeah, but I say, but I calling you out, by dog. A man lift that.
If you ever watch the video, dog, link back the man, you all start seeing now.
Nah, that dead boy, that dead boy. What's that? Crazy. That's people don't know Hollister actually had a Pelican. That was the brand now, boy.
Pelican was the brand?
Plenty people don't know that.
I
The Hollister, you know some had a seagull, right? Right, so they have a Pelican one now.
I didn't know what it was. I didn't see that shit. The Hollister Pelican. I've never seen that in my life, though.
Yes, though.
Look that shit up, though. You should see that. Hollister Pelican.
And I remember it was a Pelican. Well, they ain't go hard on no.
We gotta get them on ice. We gotta get them ice.
Look at that blue shirt there. But the one I had was a white jersey. And it was a Pelican on a skateboard. Dog. That's the seagull one. But I had a Pelican. It had a Pelican on a white shirt. Nah. Look at there. That's it. But it was in full color. It was in full color. You trying to gas me up for an Aeropostale now, for the people who don't know, Aeropostale was based on space and aeronautics, dog.
Right.
You know what I mean? So plenty of the prints had like a spaceman. That was the logo. Spaceman. Plenty of people don't know that. You know what I mean? Because you just buy an ARO, boom, and you think you see hardest out there. You know what I mean? So I was real deep in it. Again, my boy KB here could tell earlier. You know, we used to make stickers. We used to spray paint down by Shagama, so we used to skate all kind of shit.
Ooh, I don't remember my culture,
because we will get arrested. Kids don't do that shit.
I would say though, like now here in the backstories, it does show in the ad that you're into graffiti, and it does show in your ad that you're into portraits. Like here, now you could see like based on all the styles, that it is it is come true.
Yeah,
especially in the show you do. And like a lot of your like I remember looking at Romany portraits before, and I was like, yeah boy, like this really what I want to push the thing to now boy. You know, but then I have to realize different styles of it.
That's crazy for me to hear though, because I always like appreciated like the storytelling in your artwork.
He's just underplay himself, you know.
Only fucking time, and the captions and all that, like, where you said
at a point in time, I used to feel a little worried about the man. The man used to put some Drake Abel Weekend kind of level of art. I like dog, you need a hug, by dog, by all these heartbroken posts.
Nah, but I used to be sharing that shit on my story. Same way. Same way with all X.
I don't understand, like, I feel like I'm stuck in that look where I could see the flaws in my own work.
Yeah.
And you know, a lot of times just like I get like that. And like, you know, I post and stuff and I see it like there's a fly, like there's a loose line, these colors could be better, you could have spent more time working. So, and like when you do the portraits, sometimes I see, okay, some bounce light here, the line were good, and then I was like, you could do that. But you know what I mean? But again, as I said, as I grow, I just kind of realize, like, for what I want to do in terms of which is comics, I need to keep pushing now. But in terms of I can't spend too long on one piece. Somebody gonna look at it for a second, 2 seconds.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I can try to get it as good as possible in that time. And I'm saying I'm going and thing, but you know what I mean? Like I just need to understand more shapes and colors more than actually details. Because people go and consume this so fast. They're gonna be okay, that's correct color, that's correct shape, move past it now. Compared to you doing portraits, it might be a little different too, because somebody might stop and look at it now.
That's cool, because comics breed consistency in my opinion, but like the fact that it kind of like it does. That's why I speak to like making comics and trying to get a consistency. And that's the next thing I want to talk to everybody about it, because we always talk about that on Tape Gallery, But
when they say breed consistency,
well, when I say comics kind of when it comes to art now, but you're telling a story, right? And you're also posting a story and having other people go along with that journey with you on that story, right? And that motivates you to continue to push, because you're seeing people like, yo, I need that next chapter.
Definitely.
When I read in One Piece, right? I don't want to get too long. Because it will be.
I think when I want to sign don't do it for me.
When I read it,
I'm not saying that for the fans of One Piece, not you.
No, it's not for everybody.
No, I come to realize while liking stories and we can get to that.
The manga is much better than the anime.
But what I'm saying,
I'm not gonna lie to you.
Definitely.
the manga is better than the anime.
Much better. Like
I
the
love
fella,
One Piece.
the fella is nice, dog.
But wait, I don't want to go off topic, but what I'm saying is, right, basically, that I want to see the next chapter. I want to see what's going on next now, boy. So I wanna hear from everybody. Then we start with Romany. That's okay.
Yeah.
How do you stay consistent? What's going on? Next. Okay.
The condenser. So take this off?
Yeah.
Yeah,
no, well, that
This is the first time using so much mics.
yeah, first time we're using so much mics, yeah. Yeah, the screen.
I'm trying to get called OG.
I am 33 years old.
Nice right there, man.
You know what I mean?
Young man. Nice right there.
Yeah, I am 33. I'm 33 years old. No, but I would say the late 90s, early 2000s was a gold mine for art, dog. Especially in like, well, we had some good and some bad. Costumes were a lot better. I had the privilege of being around people like Menchel and Brian McFarlane and stuff like that. And then I also had the contrast, like growing up, seeing like Poison and Tribe, and well, not really Poison so much. I ain't that old, but like the beginnings of Tribe and Yuma and Island People, rest in peace. You know what I mean? Them kind of bands. So I also had that contrast. I get to understand the business of it, all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? But you could really see it in each of our works, like what was influence and stuff like that. And I know why this man hating on One Piece, by dog. Right? I joking. Because honestly, the anime I really grew up with and stuff like that, I talking about Afro Samurai, I talking about yeah. Berserk, all them kind of thing, dog. You know what I mean?
Bad ones.
So anime didn't.
So
No, I say like anime didn't really influence my art per se, but the storytelling of anime influenced how I portray the art. I know there's a given for my boy here. You know what I mean? It's a given.
Well, then could you say that it did kind of influence your art? Not in the sense of you.
But I would say
Your art style.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
So
Correct.
it-
So it didn't influence my art style, but it definitely influenced how I tell the story. You know what I mean? I now get into diving properly into Tanti's work, amazing work. You also check it out.
Yeah, check it out.
Um, and you see in the story from the jump, I've been a follower of Jamie's work for a long time. Long time. I see the storytelling. It's almost like he conceptualized the story first, and it's actually from him I really started to from you.
Oh,
I started to push
Started
forward
push
the
forward.
storytelling
Alright,
aspect
so
of it.
everybody might take a
Everybody on here right now, right? So
Oh, we on the boom.
we on the boom, right?
the boomstick.
We on the Evil Dead. We on the boomstick, right? So
Pause.
Tim got it. Oh, my
No diddy, no diddy.
yeah. So Tim got we had a little technical difficulties there. We were trying out a little 4 mics for there. Dog. Go. Low winner. We try a thing, dog. Right, we had like all these like local artists here. We wanted to bring them on, all of them talking at the same time. This is the way we figured it out here. So, just lock in with us there, like and subscribe. I see we have people in the chat. Big up Isaiah, big up Space, right? I see Tashel there. Big up Tashel. Forrest was there too, and Shereen, big up yourself, though. People in the chat just vibes, right? So you finished with consistency then?
In terms of consistency,
Yeah, I know it's going into like your influences,
Yeah.
but we kind of
in consistency, but I would say the greatest motivator would be paying my bills.
hey, nothing like money to be the greatest motivator.
Yeah, I just came from a talk in my old practice. Yeah, I see.
You don't mess, man. I see.
You have to plug that
guys.
He had to
Irrelevant to the
No, it don't matter. You have to talk about something.
plug it.
It don't matter.
Yeah,
Tell the story.
Tell it. Javai, say it again. Tell the story.
Good. We bounce up some
Yeah.
some old people from the past students and stuff, and so not talking to the new students and stuff, and they were like, they talking about their passion and stuff, and all that is great. But it was one thing consistent that we all made sure to remind them. And pay your bills. You
How to
had to
pay
feed your
your
kids. You had to take care of your wife. You
With
know what I mean?
anything,
Passion,
with-
take care of your sofa until wash come around now, but you know what I mean?
That's the reality too.
That is a reality though.
Just tell us also. He did both them at CIC.
What was it? Javai just wanted to add.
I can hear you like all of size. CIC, man.
We go plug the schools just now, but like what?
We plug in school.
They plug in the school. They get up, man. They do it.
They do enough. So we be on a podcast out to them.
Oh yeah, no yeah.
In terms of consistency, so before I think I used to draw like based on emotion now, but so it's like I had like in my eyes I had one bad for your heart, good for your heart.
Yeah.
So as soon as I feel some negative emotions, I locked in.
Yeah, locked
three,
in.
4 days and it's like 15 pictures, 20 pictures. Because like at one picture, I just join. So like sometimes people think like I really send things over weeks. As lucky when I think. But now, as I was telling them outside, I have a better method where it's like I draw 3 weeks on and the third week like I work on like detailing my pieces and like right, that's all that way because as artists there's suffer burnout.
Yeah.
You put up all that creativity, you suffer that burnout. And then it's like when I get art block, sometimes it's months.
Sometimes it's months.
You understand? Yeah, right. When you get back that thing now,
But you had to give yourself grace, huh?
I understand that.
Yeah.
But, so I had to find discipline because, as I was saying to them too, and I want to be a comic now, and they're going to be a weekly release comic. And I had the time to feel art block and all that.
Yeah.
I had to work through it. So
Yeah.
if I set up a schedule, man, do it. From especially seeing that comics was 1 for years. I might try to spend 20 years, even if I do 1 5 years. You understand? And then I also tell myself, I just want to work every day and I work for the man, you know. 2 weeks off for the whole year, you know. 2 weeks vacation, you know. So why I can't do that for myself? No, understand that, boy.
Yeah.
Why can't I get up and work 8 hours for myself, take an hour break in between, understand, take the weekends off, and make shit happen for myself. And make it happen for somebody, and somebody's getting pat off of my pocket.
Yeah.
I mean, somebody's pocket's getting pat when I get up and do
Yeah.
that now, boy. So when that time comes, and I'm able to exclusively work on my comics, I definitely do.
But dog, I feel like that's the best thing to do, dog. You kind of have it locked in too now, but to like sketch one.
Yeah, for sure.
You know?
Now, Plug is one of them artists I find to like when I watch any content and thing, like when I post recently, it was about it was like why a man can just enjoy passion.
Yeah.
That got our resonate.
I saw TikTok, you know.
Yeah. That got our resonate with being happy.
And somebody
It's hard though. It's hard though.
It's real hard.
And
I'm
then
relatable.
Yeah, no, it's serious. So I started doing TikTok.
Yeah.
no, but you know what's the problem with TikTok for so long? Ego. I don't want to go them niggas on the internet dancing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like
It's
I hear a quote. I heard somebody say a quote and that's really push. But I think somebody was like, these niggas be trying so hard to be a killer, they're killing me. They're like, laugh at these niggas, and it's like, for real. Like, and the thing is like, the person will say, you're not trying to be a killer, you have more money than them. And everybody is trying to be this big tough guy, you're broke. You know where I'm coming from? I never seen, I just say, no fact, I just say, like, I never seen no shit nigga beat the streets yet. I never seen nobody beat jail yet. You know what I mean? And it's like, everybody wants to be tough.
I can't be real with you. I had pride until I see the #1 paid person more than NBA football stars and stuff for somebody on OnlyFans. And I was just like,
I don't think I respect it.
Hey, hello.
wait, hold on.
Let's get go ahead.
Hear me out, bro.
I did not pull.
Hear me out, bro. Hear me out.
I might do that phone too. I didn't pull them.
I'm not going to do that, right? Because I ain't had the muscle and things for that, right? But at the same time, that is gay. I kind of, boy, I can't really do anything out there, dog.
No.
Right now on TikTok, I have a man named Quan Mills. I don't want to give him the plug, but dog, this man, dog, the man writing books. The books is trash, but he writes so much
I plugged him into this
radical. Hold on. I can talk. He writes so much trash books with so much trash memes, right? That men started to pick up notice and was like, nah, I had to read this book because how you keep putting out content, you getting the vibe, you getting the forward, but your books is trash. I talk about covers names like I get possessed by a demon rose. I get possessed. No, I impregnate my my alien homeboy.
Intriguing.
So, and I did like.
I wouldn't read the whole book, but I'm intrigued. I would answer the book.
Actually, here's a great example, right? And now watch our TikTok there. Gunte had named one Nick Cannon song.
Jesus
You can name a Nick Cannon song.
I did.
You can name a Nick Cannon song.
He
You
dead.
can name a Nick Cannon
He's
song.
dead.
Bertrand, you can name a Nick Cannon song.
You're dead.
But he have 125,000 active listeners who's listened to his whole 8 albums. You know he had 8 albums? I didn't know that.
I didn't know.
So if you learn anything from that little rant, boy, just pound the work, boy. Pound the work.
Really don't you put the
So-
work? And that's consistency there. It's really just putting all the work.
What I would say to that too is, and then the other part of being an artist in this generation, I want to marketing is a lot more fair than the actual work.
Yeah, I still
You just spend how much time becoming a great artist, and then you say, who have half the skill as you? Just dancing on TikTok.
Yes,
Now that caption,
yeah.
check out man.
Check out, man. Dog, and it's happened.
In Trinidad, dog, there's no shade to no girls or anything like that.
Yeah.
In Trinidad, dog, I personally know some girls, dog. They have the art. The art skills range from to real good. But they stand next to it looking sexy, dog. And they getting them clicks. And
Yeah,
they getting them,
that's all I'm
and
at.
they getting the job.
And they getting the job.
the forward.
But-
So it says something.
It says something.
So,
It says something.
But hey, the sex is selling though.
yeah, but I
Yeah.
think like, from sex, I find like that, yeah, I put the reason I put myself on my TikTok soon because a few people reach out to me when I started, right? And people explain like people also wants to buy you and believe in you. Understand? Now, men still don't believe in any girl.
Yeah.
But, no, but,
Yes, the men and them thirsty and thing and they thing whatever, right? But in that interaction, dog, they go take probably them seeing it from somebody else. Like, this girl bad and our brethren in our circle, like how we in here, we're like, nah, but she real bad though. Hey, I have a wall. And it's strange like that's how it does happen, you know.
and
Strange like that, you know. Don't get twisted. I see some real strange interaction.
You know, remember, I feel like as a woman, if that's what bless you, would get. That's to the certain extent, though. Because I was like, I'm not really promoting the OnlyFans and all that. But what I'm saying is, you understand that sex sells. People like you. You understand? You have an exhibition. Then the 30 niggas who like you and posting and commenting every day could come and buy something. Understand where I'm coming from?
And they can actually buy the stuff that you're working on.
And to me, you as a man have to find that same leverage now, boy. You get every day. If you're like boldness is your storytelling, you get on that story on TikTok every day. And then they can't complain that God bless them with breasts.
But that's how life is, right? But we gotta find, as artists, right? We gotta find, you see how Jemai going on TikTok and trying to, we gotta find ways to kind of push ourselves in a positive way. That would just let people see the art level. That's really untrue, and I think that's what he was getting to.
Yeah,
really untrue.
when it takes, dog, do it. Once it's legal, don't say I say once it's legal.
Tape gallery, and this is what we just always talk about every stream though. Everybody does talk about the fact that they're scared to post their art. And we're gonna talk about that for everybody. Because I know everybody had that feeling. I remember. And we're gonna talk about that just now. But Tape Gallery, you're hearing it from these men here, though, all of them experienced artists. Legends in their own right. I remember when you were just a mystery to me at some point. You were just a name on Instagram and I meet you, which is cool now, boy. So like, look at that over, like, just post your art now. And I seen somebody here. I just want to go through the commentary real quick though.
Man, really shout out fun.
I see Tashel say, as it is men's mental health month, how does being a Caribbean man in the art scene sculpt your work with all of the success stories being outside? So like, I think what she getting at is basically saying like,
that's a good question.
That's a great question. No, that's such a good question.
I'm not drinking punching, so I know.
No, Tashel.
Instead of a scratch my page, I am sad. I'm
Yeah.
depressed.
Yeah. He's sad.
I'm depressed. I didn't handle it well.
So, to answer your question, serious, Tashala, I have ADHD, right? So a lot of the time it depends. If my brain don't want to do something, it's not doing it. So in terms of putting out the work and stuff like that, is something that it is a challenge, in terms of like stories and that stuff. There is a greater conversation to be had in terms of the opportunities for. It's not really a gender thing in terms of men, women, whatever. It's more like it's all like the areas you grew up in and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it can be frustrating if you're not in the art scene or plugged in the art scene. Like, I know you guys could speak on this as well because as we were saying outside, we're not really in the traditional art scene. Like, I've been in the background a lot.
Underground.
You're doing a webtoon. That's something that much people really tap into before. You're doing a whole bunch of crazy styles. You're doing photography. You're doing music. You're
Tapped into everything.
You know what I mean? And it gets difficult because we have to tap into everything to eat our food. At the end of the day, we do this to make money. We're doing this not only because of our passion. We gotta eat our food.
We gotta eat our food.
It's a greater conversation about. Not really. It does bring a strain, on you because now you have to be a graphic designer, photographer, a storyteller, you have to be all these things and it kills. I know there are times where they get up and be like, but I already had a shit today, or I'd be a doctor or something.
And it sparks on and the list goes on because he's saying, you gotta be this, that, and the other, you gotta be a content creator, you gotta be all these other things.
It is
It's stressful.
So I just put out the why I would say is my best comic thing, right? It's just 2 chapters of it, but in terms of storytelling art and everything, I feel like it's the best. And you can probably say that too.
Yeah. Are we going to review this cell? I just let on the notes.
And I'd say that common discipline, right? Over all the years from before and all that, it's like I don't feel like I was ready. You understand where I'm coming from? Last year, I didn't put as much art because I was working on storytelling. I read like a bunch of story by myself, working on that and all that, right? And I think all that to come and say, like, with what he was saying in terms of like so much, I'm glad I get to do so much, to be honest. Like, the days when I wake up and I don't have nothing to do, and it's been kind of upset.
Yeah.
And glad waking up looking forward to.
You should have nothing to do, but I
So when I say nothing to do, I mean like
artistically.
yeah, you
Right.
know what I mean? You know what I mean? Or I probably just had a little bit of chores, you know what I mean? Like nothing to do now, but it is so I look forward to. So like if I know tomorrow I'm off from work if I test, I'm like, alright, we're going and
You just forget any workshop, bro.
Understand? I'll come
I
back.
get anything, yeah.
When the ad block hit them times, right?
Mm.
But I say all that to say like I think I did till in discipline, man. And discipline in terms of I was always disciplined in terms of drawing, but now discipline in terms of schedule and things like that now, but I understand it. And I become disciplined overall, like I take a lot of things more serious now.
Well, that would also translate to art as well.
Which is
It will. Because it will translate to everything in it.
Yeah, and I grew to be a little bit more of a perfectionist too. And that also translates in my art now. But so before, as I said, I can see a fly line and be like, oh, whatever. Now, I ain't going. If I see that before it's uploaded, it get fixed. And if it come down and go back up, it come down and go back up.
One time.
And you know, like about TikTok, you can post the same thing 10 times. You know, and nobody can. Like on Instagram, they can like, alright, they see this and then they can engage with it. On TikTok, you can see the same video 4 times, same video from the same person 4 times. Yeah, they go, I mean, the same video from the people and they still engage.
And TikTok, yeah, and TikTok is a powerhouse right now, though. It's a powerhouse, though. You know what I was gonna say too? I wanna ask you a question too, though.
Can I be masculine?
Right? Yes.
Don't be making thank you. But
Because I TikTok is trash. I think so too, but it's a powerhouse, though.
No, I said my TikTok.
Oh, your TikTok? Oh, you have one, okay.
okay. Now that time.
But here's what I was gonna ask you. Each and everyone, I wanna start with Roman.
Maybe I can talk.
Yeah, I want to start with it. Because I want to start with someone go down the line. How do you, like, what was it last time you deal with artist blog, with the creative, like a creative blog? And how do you deal with it? How do you deal with it?
Tan tan tan.
How do you deal with it personally?
I am one of the few lucky ones that do so much. I think it's hard to get. But when I was like just drawing and stuff, my biggest thing is to consume, you know. Whenever I wasn't able to like bring something forward out of myself, or like come up with some ideas, well, you know, I would go and watch some tutorials, watch some videos that people describing some artists, find out new artists, maybe I get inspired by their style, you know, stuff like that. No? Just to become the other aspect of an artist.
Kind of surrounding yourself with the content.
Yeah.
I two things. Yeah. One, you don't feel like the different mediums and stuff by doing so much different things.
Actually, I feel like in terms of rendering in like my digital art, it improved like exponentially once I started photography because I understood light and really bounce off the face and I just seeing so much more faces now. You know, in different lighting scenarios, and like when you're shooting in the studio, you could control the light, and now I understand. Okay, if I put the light in this direction, they're gonna bounce off the faces.
Yeah.
So I could literally create lighted scenarios.
I come from what I was saying before. In terms of experimental with different mediums.
With different mediums, and that would actually broaden your kind of like your kind of like your skill set.
I jumped in my spot there.
Yeah, that's the it.
That leads to the next question from right. Oh no, I want to ask like, what's your goal of being an artist and where's your goal? Like, where's the ultimate? I start to create because I want to achieve this goal. Same for both of them, because for me it's comics. So
yeah. I mean, I would say the same. I definitely want to make like graphic novels and stuff, but I like what I really want to do is to have stories that resonate with people, you know, on a deep level. Whether that be like true comics, true like short films, true like music videos, whatever. I just want to have pieces of work that people can and continue to go back to and say, because this touched me or something. You know? I just want to be appreciated, you know, I just want to have art that's appreciated.
Yeah.
The next question was going to be like in terms of comics, which one would be more important? Because I know it's about storytelling all the time, but if it's more important, are the art good or the story good?
The story.
That's the story.
Yeah,
because
One Punch Man art was trash.
You're saying that, right? You're saying that, but then we have a lot of
Before.
we have a lot of
The art,
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
before.
original art was trash.
Yeah.
But I have a lot of comments that are solely based on the art. You understand where I'm coming from? And the story is fine, but we just going back for the art.
But do you remember?
Yeah, but me as an artist, I didn't like okay, so
I feel
Vagabond.
like it's a balance, but the story in Vagabond is insane.
No, but the story in Vagabond is a retold story.
Everything about
Yeah,
it,
You understand where I'm coming from?
most people are not
That
artists,
was
so
so
they
like lots of
consumers, right?
stories.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah,
Oh,
most people are not artists, they consumers now, but so from that perspective now. Just saying now.
yeah, but
You know?
to answer his question,
Yeah.
my end goal, well, right now I build a streetwear brand, painter supply company, right? And my end goal would be like somebody famous wearing my stuff, though. Maybe a little Jimmy October, you know, a little Putin, maybe Anya Young Chili, you know.
I like how you getting look, yeah, I hear local names.
I
now.
could
That's right.
And then, well, on a greater scale would be like maybe if I still keeping it within the local sphere, but out there with the academy, something like that, you know, because I this is something I was telling somebody, like people realize Caribbean real stories will tell
A lot.
you know what I mean? Diplo come here and make not Bad Royal. With Walshy Fire and Jillian and everybody come in here and tap into our soca songs, tap into the reggae song, make can't remember the name of that band right now. Make that band suck what you had to suck from it, bust out, right? You understand why we can't do that ourselves, you know, right? We can't tap into our art, tell our stories and stuff like that. And that's again, that's one of the reasons I think I want that competition up, because I did really focus on like what the competition was on. I just wanted to tell stories.
It's a bit that I say that because I kind of went off topic here, but I come to realize energy is a big thing. So it's really say he just wanted to tell stories, and you know what I mean? Like I come to realize you want something too much, and you're not going to come. You can magnetize stuff now, but you understand where I'm coming from. So I would say you're making the point that people know Art Block when they know me, right? I personally used to not want people to know me because and I was going by the name Art Block and then it's me, right? And about Michael, he thinks was certainly better like he introduced him as Art Block, like don't do that, like you know what I mean? Like and he's not posting himself for a reason.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like I want to bring that to like well, starting that back to but like just alright, so I would say that at that point, before the moment, I was getting like way more magnetization if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have the fear of pain, or because people know me.
Yeah.
Where I'm coming from, and it's like when people started to know me and started to interact with me as something wrong with you because the post this compared to it's just a good post.
Yeah.
And it's not like a change everything now, but you know where I'm coming from. So now, you know, and I create gonna be saying this I consider when I put this out, people will not think. You know what I mean? People can react to it.
You're more just doing it because now you're seeing because people know Art Block as a face now.
Yeah.
Now you're getting to get the direct feedback
Yeah.
from people and that motivation to push. That's why people need. And that's why I say like anybody out here doing anything, dog. Once there are people behind them pushing them, dog, you could only go further. That's what we need for every single person.
I could bounce off of that question. Like, is that also like a reason why you're more like focused on the comics? Because that way you're not really expressing like your personality. You express your story that you could tell.
So I just I think I reached a point where it's like I think I was getting personal, but was taking it too personal, that I get into personal. And I just think I could tell the same thing through comics. Where it's not me, but I can still tell this person is sad and this is what I'm going through, and you know what I mean? And people still like, okay. You know what I mean? Yeah, so that's kind of what I want to do.
Yeah, I think dog, like being able to invoke feeling through like any sort of media work. You invoking feeling through your comics, you know. And you know, we going to take a pre just now. We come here, we come just now or later, we're going to pre everybody else. We talk about it, we are ready to talk
Right now I pray that goosebumps thing there.
yeah, no, that's not we going to pretty room too. Hold on.
Man, so let's see goosebumps stuff.
Alright, so
for the mics.
okay, we'll put back on the mics.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do the media, we're gonna put on the mics for the media. Oh yeah?
So people, maybe whoever Instagram path we're going through, or they just one-on-one, and then
Yeah.
switch to the next person.
Right? So we're going one-on-one.
Check one.
Alright, we good? Testing, testing. I see. I see Rachel says she ready to see the art. We get into that. Alright, alright. You ready to see the art? Yeah, shout out, love, shout out. Yeah, no, we only people just ready to see content, boy. That's what going on, man. Just wanna see, yeah, they just wanna see content. Yeah, they just wanna see content, boy. Hey, plug yourself, you know, boy. We feel to the tip gallery, you know. We had to eat our food here, you know, man. Hungry, you know. Pit bulls in it. Pit bulls in it, you know, man. How to eat it, though. Yeah.
You know what my uncle told me though recently? He was like, hey, when you know that you're getting opportunities and stuff like that, and as an artist when you're getting opportunities, right? Yeah, he literally watched and he was like, yeah, to work like an immigrant.
Well, this one.
Yeah, he was like, yeah, to work like an immigrant. I was like, what? He was like, yeah, because for them it's like do or die now, boy. You know what I mean? Yeah, like I have more people coming in here, dog. Damn.
Get you there?
Yeah, boy. So is the man say yeah, you had to work like an immigrant, dog, and I was just like, all right, cool, break that down. He was like, what was you saying? When you're an immigrant in a different country, right? It's just you alone. You have to make it out there. You know, you had to want it bad because if it's like, dog, you realize people is come here, they just open their little store and thing, and boom, in the next 2-3 years, they have their own thing pumping, going. It's like, that's the work ethic you have. And I sit down there and I take that to heart, boy, dog, but I was like, nah. So from since then, I just been shooting my shot. I just been plugging in myself anywhere I could plug in. Anybody willing to see my art, do whatever. And I just go in. Of course, another thing is collaboration is key, dog. You know what I mean? Collaboration is key, dog. I've seen a lot of artists in Trinidad kind of doing their own thing. And it's only the ones who like decide, well, I'm gonna reach out and collaborate. They kind of, because now you're feeding into each other spaces, you're feeding into each other content, you're feeding into each other styles, into each other audiences, all that kind of thing now. But like what we doing right here now.
It's just crazy. You know what I mean? I think like
Check
how
on.
how does this work too though? How like, because I've been seeing like, well, like I really say just art plug, and you say like how it just feed into each other. Everybody doing different things. How the music and art is like kind of like it could go hand in hand now, but without the art now, but you can't really, not saying you can't, without it you can't have anything, dog. Literally anything. When it comes to like products, anything, dog. That's why I put like a lot of focus on it. That's why I love it too, because it's so powerful now, man. It's ridiculously powerful. Though. You can sway, like the people sway whole countries just off of symbols and things, dog. Bro.
Brexit thing that happened, right? That was Michael Farage he is a marketing person, a genius, right? Genius is a loose word considering what happened, but that was a marketing campaign where they literally successfully get people to vote on something they weren't aware of. You know what I mean? And that's the power of marketing, the power of
You're just out of the window now. I would say like all of y'all are like creators in itself now, man. You know, being able to take like absolutely nothing and make something out of it. Like you making a whole comic. I still run from that creative. Like
And I would say like when I look at people who work in the creative power, it's like a lifestyle for them. The way they're dressed, plenty of them is vegans. You know what I mean? Plenty of them. No, just saying. I just saying it's like so it's like who into creativity. You understand? It's like they make it so weird in a kind of way now, but that I kind of, because of where I'm from, I don't want to be part-time because you know what, all these artists see in that kind of way now, but understand. So now that, and I think again that was kind of pushing me from growing because I had to stay hard and keep doing this where it's a soft community. Understand? But it's what community I want to be part of. I'm on the outside praying. And then when I end it, I'm feeling like I'm not supposed to be in it.
And you was talking about that, if you kinda, you was talking about that too. You kind of feel like an outcast in it now, but it shouldn't be so now. It should be something where you feel more kind of unified now, but so you was kind of saying that you're not really finding people who you kind of connect with now.
No. So it's not enough finding people I connect with. I connect with a lot of people, but I just at the point I just feel like it was something in me feeling like you're losing the edge. You're losing who you're supposed to be, because it's like align with creatives for 2-3 months, and then just to say go up on the block, and then it's like I can't relate. You know what I mean? And it's like niggas talking about why the other day I think beat up thing, and it's like, oh, where I was, boy, I was joined, and niggas getting beat up. Yeah, that's how I go from. And it's like you know what I mean? I think people that's kind of, it's so dumb in terms of like ghetto shit and all that, and you know what I mean? I don't want to promote it the same way, but like people that's kind of like afraid to say they like it. You know what I mean? Like, and I've been real with it at times where I know on the block and I feeling like I miss the block. Look, at times I will like, where's like I know around for a while, and at midnight I just drive just to see what the place looking like. Just to see who outside. Sometimes. Just a pretty vibe. Yeah, sometimes I just pass. Mental outside, like, I just glad it is, and I just pull up and I just spend like 2 minutes.
Just
people feel like gone. You understand where I'm from? No, like I don't know, but I would go there. No, just so understand. But at that point, I was kind of battling that. So yeah.
The worst thing is be like when you're lineman on the block and thing. I don't know if you had that experience. I know you have that for sure. What's now? You just do art, boy. I have an idea for you, boy, dog, boy. Dog. What's that? Dog, I have an idea for you, and it does be some real out of the way thing. No money involved. Nothing. And they swear it's a multi-million Elon Musk level kind of next PayPal bullshit, dog. And I just be like, yo, what the
No money involved, man. No
Bye.
money involved.
Because always know how to make you rich.
dog? What's that?
Yeah, that experience with that.
Yeah, I just about 2 months. Yeah, 2 months.
Our plug was kind of mysterious to me, though.
Yeah. Yeah, for the longest while, I think it's still happening. Where it's like, just pull up on people like, oh yeah, this job, I need this done. And they go, I mean, and it's like, again, and the next problem with that is two people feel like it's one type of artist, and one artist do everything. I need a mural paint, I need a logo, it's like, dog, like, chill. You understand where I'm coming from? But
Everybody has a style.
yeah, but I think I just moving away from doing commissions on the whole. Especially like if I can really get the comment to pick up. Dog, like, first of all, dealing with people is stressful. And again, back to the point of artist subjective. Somebody come and say, bro, I paint just a red picture. You present it, not that shade of red. Okay, go 2 shades darker, not that shade too dark. And like you could be working on a commission with somebody for a little while because you're not getting them vision, and it's like you seeing my artwork, you come to me for seeing what I just present, and then you have me going back and forth for weeks. You understand? And then it's like, no, I have a limit on how much edits I'll make for one, but it's like, and
Okay, that's it.
no, but at the same time, sometimes the artist.
If you're paying your money, you could get me to do almost anything.
Not me, nah, my passion wrapped into it.
Only fans.
My
We're not doing things strange for change, guys. We're not doing things.
my passion
strange
wrapped
for
into it. If you come to me with a commission idea, for the most part, when I done with this, I'm proud of this before I present it to you. So when you start to let me know you don't like this and you don't like that, that just hurt my pride.
Yeah.
Like what? Like I cook here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm bro? I was cooking. You know what I mean? No. At this point, I just want the transaction to be over. So we need, and I'll get it done now, but to the best of my ability. But at this point, I already it make me feel like like I ain't doing it now.
No, I feel that way, especially especially like doing for like corporate like videos and thing, no. No, cause look at my fucking style though when it comes to the videos and the shit I just make and I just make certain things and I just put it out there and I just give it to them and be like, you can make it more like this, you make it more like that. And what they asking me for is basically the shit that's be on TikTok, dog. But I know look at my fucking work, dog.
That is straight back to the thinking one artist does do everything. Understand the studios are digital creator and they feel like okay, he could do logos, he could you understand where I come from, but I don't take too much of corporate jobs.
Not only that.
I know like I don't have the passion and the creativity.
It's not only that, you know, these fuckers cheap. Yeah. You know what I mean? Dog.
Man, when I get thing, I don't got free skis.
Dog, and with this new AI thing now, boy. Dog, I see a position on a well-known establishment, right? I ain't gonna call the establishment name. They want a multimedia and AI artist. Now, what the fuck is an AI artist? For me, as a coder, because I don't know prompts and stuff, and people don't know that's just basic code, basic language, right? So I wanna know about what is this? But then it really boils down to like men don't wanna pay that money, by dog, boy. You know, cause you could have a great idea and they will love it, they will cry, yeah, boy, ting. Yeah, so it go cost a little 20,000. The budget does allow for one. What we go do with that?
Always want to scrape something off the top, dog.
So on the thing with AI, right?
I'm not against AI, by the way, for the record.
As an older guy, I think you would remember when carbureted engines moved to fuel injected engines, and now we move into hybrids and stuff like that. You understand? Now, with people, my father for one is an older guy, hybrids and other thing, and it was the same when it's moved from carbureted to thing. AI is the new wave, and instead of rejecting it, make it work for you, right? So I just be home, drawing, catching my ass to draw, and then pick up my phone, go into my AI app, man jumping, different angle. And that just saved me like an hour of scrolling through Pinterest looking for a thing now, but you know where I'm coming from. I could get one shot from 4 different angles with the correct prompt. You understand where I'm coming from? And that's saving me a whole lot of time doing a comic.
No problem with that. My problem is coming. Sorry, Tanti there. My problem is coming. That the man name, dog. That the man name. My problem is coming where the research product that you're typing in on these prompt apps is what you want now, boy. Because you see now a bunch of ads now, smooth skin, everybody thing. But then I just be like, all right, and what go happen when everybody had the same thing? You know what I mean? What go happen when everybody are looking exactly the same as each other? You know what I mean? And that's the problem I have when people who, because again, it is a tool, right? But it's like with the Canva, you only remember the Canva epidemic. Everybody could do graphics on Canva, and everybody thing looking the same exact way, dog. You know what I mean? And hey, if that's what you want, that's what you want. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, you know, I think outside of us being creatives and stuff, it have a lot of way to go in terms of people respecting different crafts and stuff like that. If I was a graphic designer, I'm not building your web page. You know what I mean? I don't do them thing and so forth and so on. They laugh because they know. They laugh because they know, eh? I mean.
Personally, dog, I don't fuck with AI like artwork, you know? The way you use it like for like prompted like anatomy and stuff like that, I don't think is that useful for that either. I mean in terms of like conceptualizing it, but like also the anatomy might be off, dog.
It does be hard and it'll be perfect when I get it, but it gave my start. It gave my starting point.
I feel like for you to actually like improve as an artist, you'd have to look at like genuine like human references and have like a lot of like websites specifically for those things. And I feel like just being able to like find certain like line of action is a good website for like figure drawing and stuff like that. I feel like once you find like tools like that, you wouldn't really need AI for certain things, you know, because it's already there.
For the people out there, AI is not what Tony Stark have, right? Let me give you a little lesson. The AI we have is something called generative AI. Don't make them feel that is something that they pull from the sky, and it's all being smart. So for the artists who worried about the AI out there, it's not gonna replace their jobs anytime soon. It needs to pull from us putting in things to generate something, and it's still not gonna be as good as the human touch, though. You know what I'm saying? That's for the people who think. All right.
You lie, that taking your jobs, eh? Cause like when it comes to fucking illustration, making graphics, making fucking logos, making like posters for events, all these other things, it doesn't be good, but they don't fucking care. People don't have the passion in nothing anymore. It's like, okay, like, we need a poster for this event you're having. Let the AI do it. Look, this is the poster for the event.
And that is fair enough, both great points, but why it matter?
I mean,
Like what I say is like okay. So I think I can't remember who told me this, but there was like the people who use it AI wasn't gonna pay for shit anyway. The people who go in and support you, going to support you regardless. You understand? The people who want something authentic will always search for that. I don't let AI scare me at all. I just trying to use AI to the best of my ability.
I just trying not to tap into my little Kendrick era and start to call names and things.
But listen, if I start about AI art, if I see my ass look like AI, don't be mad at me. If I work content, no, because I leaning into this. You understand? It might go away the same way the Canva thing went away. You understand? Everything will just be for a little season, you know. You know what I mean? And I here to enjoy it and work with it rather than fight it. You dig? Adaptability is in the name of the game.
I feel like for me the fight I've come within me like being like such a, like an appreciator of art and like one always say like earlier like how like you know everything is artist I was like because I'm like such a big like consumer also like when I see something that I know is AI and I know it could have been done better and it's not a message that was sent properly, you know, it's like because like illustration is something that I'm actually like passionate about. Like when you see the posters for the art forum and stuff like a lot of fucking thought and planning and everything that's go into that, you know.
As they on that though, let me actually get into that though. Like let me see. You have any of that on your?
You could go on the like the tagged.
We good? What do you want?
Like tagged?
Oh, tag photos.
Yeah, tagged photos. That would have the art forum stuff.
Hey, I don't make sure it's shared to the people on them because they would just be seeing us watching the computer now.
Charlie boys and them could see the scene.
What the fuck I was saying?
People talking in chat right now.
It's okay for me to come closer.
Yeah, you can come on live though. Go be live, man.
Sorry.
I think Jason saying AI actually here to help artists. I'd say a lot of people have a different opinions on it. I see Shell. Oh, I love how everybody coming in. I see Shell saying as upcoming artist expo.
Thank you.
Of Trinbago Arts into what's this institution? What is the new role models in your niche? Would you advise the people to aspire to do differently from what you struggle with?
People that we inspire to do differently. That's people.
I've got everybody. You make a ripple. What I was inspired. Make a ripple.
We trying to show the people the art and KBD technician. Big up him one time.
So my thing.
How are they gonna drop the OnlyFans?
So my biggest thing with like if you take an inspiration or what I would advise people to do is start building your own identity early. Understand? You just jump into I want to be so much like this artist and so much like this artist or writer. And for who don't know, it's really easy to build a new style. You pick your cheat up artists, you pick what you like from them, you build your style of writing. You know what I mean? And then it is grow.
That's a tip from Ethan Becker. If those who know, who don't know, you know, Ethan Becker is the.
Okay, that's a tip for me. I do that. I do that for Ethan Becker. And then I remember like watching Kishimoto like, no, Kishimoto know what he doing. You understand? But I was like, I can't make people like, have blonde hair, blue eyes. So dark skin, so I started to turn to boondocks. You understand where I come from? So I doing that. I've been doing that. You know, I don't like boondocks story.
What was the question again?
Oh, the question. Oh, let me get into that now. as an upcoming artist, especially from Trinidad and Tobago, you know, like what would you advise people to
People
that
who
you
inspire
to do differently from
People
what
I
you've struggled
inspire.
with? From what you've struggled
Why
with.
everybody acting so surprised? People are inspired.
No, but they inspire people though. Come on, though.
I feel I have an answer for that.
I feel like my biggest advice. Yeah, that's the art form stuff. Like my biggest advice to most like artists just starting out, dog. Is like Jamai said, like create your identity early, but also don't be afraid to like just share shit. You know, even if it's like just like fan art, if it's just like things that you're interested in, if you it's just like a fucking sketch, dog. You know, just don't be afraid to share what you're doing.
But just answer point before you think that, boy. So it's a far out, right? And next thing too, when you're starting to create, know where your end goal is. Because I, for one, was doing like Instagram models, and that had nothing to do with what I want to do. And I was doing that to build the page of writers, but now I'm in a place where it's like the people who follow me not here to see what I want to think now, boy. You dig? So again, if you're not going to be doing fan art overall, do start doing fan art. Do what you want to do and stick to it. The audience will find you.
I would say get into these spaces, you know, go some art shows, meet some people, talk. Collaboration is key. Collaboration is always key. I mean, we watching the art form right now. There's a bunch of artists together who come and make a show, you know what I mean? Collaboration is, I would emphasize that, collaboration key. In terms of like doing your own work and stuff, put it out first, make it good after, you know?
Oh, that's a beautiful one.
You know what I'm saying? Put it out first, make it good after, you know what I mean? You gotta make some noise though. People more interested in the story than the finished product, you know what I mean? And that's something I totally missed the point on in the beginning. 'Cause I just used to put polished work, and then people like, well, how we know you do it now? You know what I mean? Put out your process videos.
That's kind of what this is for.
And don't give a fuck, dog. Don't give a fuck. You know what I mean?
Nah, I feel like
No, I mean in terms of like when you're putting out work and stuff now, but
like
just put it out.
Just put it out, like
Just put it out.
to the point where like you don't care about like what most people would say.
I feel like the giving a fuck matters. Like I feel like you need to give a fuck and like have passion in what you're doing. But like I feel like the not giving a fuck comes in when like you're receiving like certain types of like comments and when you're experimenting with things that you might be more scared of, like the not giving a fuck comes in when you're like, okay, I'm gonna take this risk and do that. You know?
I think give a fuck, especially with the negative comments. Because as an artist, if you want to grow, that is where the growth has come from. And somebody say, boy, I mean, it's sometimes be harsh, but I bigger than the next one. But you don't.
I don't see that as a negative comment. I see that as like pointing out something.
Yeah. No, but I mean, sometimes, you know, it just come off. It depends on how they say it. It come off harsh or whatever it is. Now, that's just a light thing. You know, sometimes people can be negative on the whole, and what I'm saying is like, you don't want to hear that second time. Take the fucking negative comments. I telling you, you think that shit could have you fucking inside for 2 days, perfecting some shit. That better for you.
And everybody have a different process too. Everybody have a different.
And I was about to say that too because like you were saying that you feel like collaborating and thing is a good way to reach out to writers. But personally, I disagree. You know, and again, it depends on where you're going for. But I feel like a lot of times it's not about getting out there. You do the work, and to me, it's about magnetizing. No, at least that's why it's no. Understand? As a person who has done stuff that people could share, and you understand. At the end of the day, it didn't really get me what I wanted to get. Understand? I think I needed to do what I wanted to do, and let them magnetize the people who understand where I come from. So I wouldn't recommend that anybody come online thinking, okay, I need to get to 1,000 followers on the ladder, but I need to get to 100 subscribers on my comic though. But yeah, but just drop now, man. You know who fuck with it, go fuck with it. Here they go, where I'm coming from. And you know what I mean?
Find your niche.
So Tape Gallery, this is we gonna do like a little deep dive, a little Instagram pre, and see what these guys have been working on, where they are in the artistic journey, and where they were in the artistic journey. Because we had the whole history on Instagram. Exactly. You understand? I pre Instagram, I pre yours. Yeah, you don't worry. I see thing. So I seen some of these things. Tell us about like some of the, and I'll pick my favorite one out of all. I like these, dog. The Art of Dance.
I look, you went off for that one.
No, bro, come on. So tell us about the like each, like how you went about making the posters. Like what was your kind of like your inspiration, right, for the photo itself, for like just making the actual like graphic novel. Like what was your inspiration for that? How it came about?
The thing about these specific photos, the Tafex Garden, is they are collaboration with somebody else. And when we started I had put together the like visual identity of it, and what you see now is basically me building on something that already existed, like a concept I already had, which was basically like a combination of like orange and yellow and photo collages and black and white and stuff like that. And I kind of wanted to represent basically like newspaper / like old magazine like cutouts.
And that's kind of the vibe.
And I like scanned.
Yeah, you look at
So I had 3 Instagrams, right? I had 3 Instagrams, right? I have one which is Jamaica's Garcia, which is which is supposed to be the new art plug, like my new art page, whatever it is. Scrolling through the CDs and ignoring it, because you know what? It was so good. I think it's not nobody I know. It's not. I just think there's a random ad, and I scroll past these things a million times before I notice it was you. It just think it's a random ad for like a dance, and it's like I'm not into dance. Just like whatever, people dancing. Sorry for who does dance, Adam. But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But it's so good. Is what I'm saying now, but
Yeah.
it was like.
I love the colors for it too, because like
I can come up as an art.
Yeah.
It's art. It's
Yeah.
really. Because I see the one with Blase here, and we're supposed to have Blase up. I think Blase is the next stream we're gonna have. Blase is the next stream we're gonna have. And I see that like let me get a little mic there. I see that this one was in Jags Bay and thing. The photos that you take though, do you like take the photos on the spot? Do you like get them to come to the studio, or you just edit?
Like these are like the ones from Blase, they were sent to me. The only ones that I like took, if you look at the ones with Dom and Q are the ones that I took, as well as the ones with Rizzo. Like those are like pictures that I actually took. The ones with Rizzo was on the spot, but with Dom and Q we actually like met in the studio.
On the spot.
Yeah, like these were just at a coffee shop.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that too. Like I like how you kind of take like, and this was a Jemai. This is something I like this look, because this is kind of something Jemai was talking about too, where like you kind of like taking his life. You kind of again your inspiration from nowhere. You went to that coffee shop. You take a couple pictures, and now is literally his art is a photo for Tax of Garden. Taft of Garden is beautiful, dog. You understand? And I don't think you really had like. Did you have like an idea to do that? Was that premeditated?
The posing was a little premeditated, you know, because like when you actually look at it, it has like a specific like format and layout for like the ones that display the panelists. Because like a lot of when I'm making like large volume rollouts, I do like certain templates for certain things. Like I would have like the main artwork, which is like something I make like completely on the spot, like wherever the inspiration flow. And then from that main artwork, I was like, okay, I like these colors, I like this, the way I do this, and I'll copy and paste like certain aspects, and I'm like, okay, this is how I'm gonna do the template for the vendors. This is how I'm gonna do the template for the panelists and stuff like that. And then from that would give me a structure then to be creative in, you know. So I'll have this structure like, okay, so how am I gonna make this layout interesting for each different artist.
Kind of like dance around and
mix
and match,
yeah,
play around.
yeah. A lot of people, when you have too much to think about, it's be hard for you to be creative, because then you're like, okay, maybe I add this, maybe I add that, maybe I add the other thing. But when you put like a box for you to explore in, you end up like coming out with something like much more like looking creative, you know, because then you're actually like pushing yourself to think, okay, so like I do this poster this way, I want to do this with this different artist, but like how am I gonna make this different from the one that I just post, but still have it like be coherent, you know? So that's where the creativity will come in.
And you know why I like each and every one of these two, dog, because all of them different, you know, but it's like the same vibe.
Yeah.
Which is crazy, because every single one giving you a different vibe, dog. But it's the same. You know, it's the same event. Every single one now, boy. That's the beautiful. That's the beauty in it now, boy.
If you go to like the part 1 or part 2 is like a similar vibe. Like if you like scroll even like further down, because this is where this was actually the first one.
So it starts.
Yeah, this was the first ever like Tafex Garden poster.
Open mic.
Yeah, and this is where like all the designs stem from this design.
Oh, this real fresh stuff. This one real fresh though.
Yeah, this one was more like poets and musicians now. So this was like more like highlighting like the voice
The
and
voice,
as an
yeah.
instrument, as well as people like playing instruments. And then I had like went into this one, and this is more or less the visual language for the rest of the event. And I just kind of build on this for like dance, and I build on it for the next one and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah, and these were also like pictures I would have taken. I took I took this picture of Konata, and I took like this picture of Xavier.
Yeah, all of them have like that vibe.
Yeah, and these models, there's Xavier and there's
Nah, that's very
yeah,
cool.
so
That's
yeah,
very cool.
like it's like basically like a digital collage of the
Yeah,
pictures
digital
that I
collage,
took.
pop art kind of like
Yeah.
vibe. Yeah, I like that. I
Yeah,
like
and this was the second one. I think this was one of my favorite pieces I did for the Tafex Garden. Like this collage, like it's just so fucking
This
hard. dog.
one's so hard though. Yeah, this one crazy hard.
Yeah,
dog.
nah, yeah, I really like this one. dog.
Nah, this one fresh.
That's what I said, like I actually like into illustration and into like poster design, so that's why I kind of get passionate when people just like fucking just doing AI shit, dog.
Nah, I fuck with it, bro. And I understand, dog. Like, it's cool to be passionate about it too. Now, like, I think that everybody have their stance on it, and as Jemai, and because Jemai bring up real good points tonight, dog. As Jemai say, it could be a phase, and we never know where it could take us. It could take us this way, or it could take us that way. But we know we can't stop it. And it's to adapt, as they say. And big up yourself for that one, dog. I'm glad how you're adapting to the game too, because I see the man posting and saying too now, boy. But yeah, this is cool, dog. So we might take a free in one of them TikToks. We have to. We might try to shine you up a little bit to the my dog. Yeah, I try to get shine up, but that's okay because that's all promotion. That's what we're doing here. Everybody on the stream gets to see you have to check out the webtoon. So Fitanti boy, this I kinda wanna hit. Yeah, I wanna hit her back. I wanna go on. Yeah, let me look at some old shit, and then we will switch. Straight to. I feel like I wanna do Jemai last because Jemai has something I wanna, he have a little comic. I wanna share that with the. Some extra questions for Jemai. Yeah, nah, Chris, yeah, talk.
Look how good he portraits is. Go back up. Go up. Go up. Go back up. All right.
Let me control.
Yeah. So right. So slide down. Just now. Slide down, right? So me and Roman used to have like some joint sessions together, right? Right. I said right next to he creating this, right? Now, brother, this is supposed to be original character from one of the comics, right? But look at the anatomy. This looking like it was a portrait and he redrew it compared to this is original character. You understand? And it's like I sit down there like, dog, what the fuck? Like you know what I mean? You know what I mean? And then like there's the lighting on this. I was like, dog, what the fuck?
Yeah,
and then
that light, it was because of the picture though.
And
I
that,
had a great reference.
no, but it's fair though. Like okay, even
crazy
though we still seeing the 3D in the cheekbones here. We getting everything.
Still getting the kind of cut up light on the elbows coming down.
Like seeing it and then being able to execute it is two different things.
You can go back on that, Jemai.
So
I interested to see what is kind of cutting up that light source there. This was the original picture, or this was like
this is somebody took this picture. Yeah.
Somebody took a picture and then drew it, right?
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm interested to know
what environment she was in, like outside?
No, that was like a palm tree.
How to be palm tree? Yes,
palm tree
seen it right here. It's beautiful. Nah, yeah, nah.
Yeah, the palm tree causing the light break.
Yeah.
Wow, this is hard.
Yeah.
Yes, I love it.
Goodness.
This.
Never take away some of your work there. I mean, goodness.
No. And what I would say too is like, I don't know, but he just real good with like understanding colors and thing too. And I just get credit where he do.
Yeah, how to get credit. I love this blade.
I look, he's struggling with colors. I just kind of fight until it look how I want it to look.
Well, and I want to talk about our dog. Like, I love as a man, especially when it comes to art. Look at this now. Cool. Hold on, this now. Let me pause on this. Push up in this. As a man who I don't like to force nothing. You understand? When I creating, I don't want to like force it. I just let it happen. So like, even if something come out, shit, I could always come back to it. Or they ever feel like any pieces, you'll just leave and say, boy, I kind of stuck here. I had to stop and come back to it and they finish it. Anything?
Dog, I literally have like a full of Photoshop files I just might never go back to.
This one looking crazy.
Yeah, see the full thing though.
Yeah.
Go in seconds like.
Actually over there.
Yeah, this is actually my favorite portrait I ever did.
Damn.
There's also like an original character. This was like from sketch to render, probably like 5 to 6 hours. This was a long one, yeah. Cause I did like a bunch of different lighting scenarios and stuff like overlaying.
What program you was working in for this?
Oh, and I only use Photoshop for my
What
drawing.
program you use?
I use Clip Studio, but I feel like the Photoshoppers.
Yeah.
Because Photoshop can like manipulate stuff and thing. I think they have an upper hand on me, boy. Even though I see like Clip Studio people somehow figuring it out.
Yeah.
I feel like the Photoshop people, like even when it comes to like comic making, you could tell who's using Photoshop and who's using Clip Studio.
True.
Like right off the bat, there's just no, but like when they work together, it's Photoshop.
You think you can mix both? Like
No, for sure, for
I
sure,
feel
for
like
sure.
that would be the peak, cause like when it comes to like the tools for like art itself, Clip Studio beaten Photoshop easy hands down because they geared towards artists. But like when it comes to like manipulating like lighting scenarios and contrast and editing like an image, which is what we're working on digitally, that is where Photoshop does have the upper hand because it is a photo editing software.
I just use Procreate. Let me just
you just want to
train that in the ring. First of all, whoa. Whoa. No. No. I pull clean lines naturally, dog. You know what I mean? To be honest, and again, my main program is actually Illustrator. You know what I mean? So because but it lends to my style. So
No. Like, I'm glad that everybody's in a different program and all that. I just like, now that they say it making sense. Yeah. And that's where I'm coming from because you think sometimes I hope like, dog, I had to redraw a line 4 times. You think I come from like one line, one side of the face 4 times. You think?
4 is good, though. I was like 7. Because remember, we used to lines like line weight.
Yeah. You think? And I
be like this.
I watched a video like that literally just today, dog. Where homeboy is just clicking, bend the line, and the next one like controls. I remember those days. Nah, dog. I could do that naturally. I have a still hand naturally, but I don't have to by dog by. You know what I mean?
But y'all do like single weight lines. I use like line weight, like variable line weight from like.
Full line weight.
You still pull line weight?
Yeah, I still pull line.
You see line with my shit? I mean, it's not heavy, but
I just see your line weight sometimes, but like I just like exaggerate it. I feel like that's because I'm like Kim Jong-gi influence, you know, like I really like how you work with like ink itself. Yeah.
So before I used to use before I used to use the line too, but because I had to work with all the screen, so it was real hard to think that. But what did you use an iPad?
Well, I use iPad and Intuos.
Intuos?
Yeah.
iPad. But the Intuos is what I had. I used
I
terrible.
had a Cintiq, dog, but
You had a fucking Cintiq?
That's the holy grail.
Yeah.
I need one.
So hold on. I knew somebody who was literally going away and was just literally selling their thing for scraps, dog. And I was like, hey, I went and borrowed money from my grams, dog. Probably like $5,000 or something like that. Dirt money, dog. And I hold on. Wait. 12K plus, dog. Yeah.
Yeah, we have Wi-Fi. You have Wi-Fi? I get somebody Wi-Fi.
I'll just look it up.
In my head like I got a Cintiq just now. I didn't know it was 12K.
Nah, Cintiq's expensive.
But it's
also.
very expensive. We used to have that in school. I went to UTT. Animation.
By the campus. Q1
I have. That's why
Yeah,
using.
yeah.
That's why using it. Do that's when I get you?
No, I think I
Canvas
have
is
the
the only
Huey one and you have the XP pen.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I went and buy the canvas, and then it was like, it's my problem and all that, and I just end up switch on buy for me something like that. Yeah.
You got you?
Um,
You
a
have fact check
Cintiq.
on this shit, because I know we had these things in. Yeah, forget
Nah,
it.
641 US.
Okay, this is the baseline Cintiq.
So then I'll just
That's
never be get
2000.
2000.
2000 as the 24 inch.
2000 USD. I just would never get a
And
Cintiq.
3000 and 35 for the 27.
So okay, so where Cintiq is now that they pay 5,000 for?
Story time.
So I gave my mentor it. You know, at the time I didn't have the room. I was moving. I didn't have the room for it, so I just gave my mentor it, and I still needed a device now, and I just decided to go into the iPad one time now. So I had the iPad, and I was using Affinity Designer before it was cool, guys. You know what I mean? It's very cool, bro. You're a hater. Adobe paying you.
No, I don't know about it. I never.
If I see Adobe paying him, yes.
So you just give up a Cintiq.
Well, I still use it off and on, guys.
It's going on. Okay, cool.
But like,
Well,
I wanna,
Well-
because I use the iPad in mainly for a lot of things. I'll be doing like so I use the iPad for a lot of things. The iPad is a wonderful tablet. It's a wonderful tool. Procreate is good. You know what I mean? Nah, boy, Apple sucking too much of my money, boy. Procreate is a good tool. They have ZBrushes on iPad now and stuff like that, so you know it works out now, bro. You know what I mean? So for me, getting an iPad and then to get a Cintiq and then to get it, that's money down the drain.
wasn't giving up my Cintiq. I don't care how
I
it's
would-
like. I guess Cintiq I'm not giving it up.
I agree. I would never give up a Cintiq, dog, especially not for an iPad. I mean, I like iPad is cool. iPad is a cool device for sure. But I feel like it has too much like limitations on certain things, you know. And I feel like everything on Procreate is kind of look the same in terms of like textures and lines and stuff like that.
I know people doing some crazy work on
No, no matter what it is that have somebody fucking it up. No matter what program it is, no matter what we're gonna have an artist that fucking it up. But like the general like Procreate artist, dog. Most of it that's kind of look like similar in terms of like textures. Like I can look at a piece of artwork and like this was made on Procreate, you know. Unless it's something like highly stylized, I look at yours where it's like you don't know what the fuck you make it on because it's just like that's your style.
But I think that's a good thing though, like it is leading to the style I'm creating. You know what I mean? Like, and I feel like I'm not saying this way doing, but I feel like people like to look down on, okay, this person is in this thing, and you know it's as simple and they're doing, but everybody going for something different. You know what I mean? And I just like to appreciate all the art.
Remember, art's subjective. Guys.
Art is subjective. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean? What I don't like, if I can talk about what I don't like, you see.
trace. And then pass that trace off like if it's there original thing. I call it.
Yeah, that is me too. So
Not like
nah,
how you do that.
yeah, I know.
About literally.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
Down to the color and everything.
I would trace. Let me just to clear it up. I would trace if I can't draw something. I think it would take too long in terms of the comic. You know what I mean?
I feel like
To
background
push.
shows it, like perspective and thing. I feel like
Background.
No,
is
yeah,
very
that's
important,
true.
like-
No, but at the end of the day, guys, like I think at the end of the day, like it have any rule for how people it's just you're supposed to make art? It have any rule for that? It have.
Cheating is frowned upon. Chasing is frowned upon.
It's frowned upon, no,
I feel
but
like-
if it, you know, but is it a rule?
Let me
It's frowned upon.
Let me mention something about trace. I feel like when it comes to tracing, dog, tracing is just like everything else. It could be a tool for learning certain things. Like it depends on how you utilize it. Because when you use like digital programs to draw, the ability to like play with like layer transparency that allows you to learn anatomy from a different sense. Because you could take a human figure and you could literally trace out all the muscles and be like, okay, this is literally training your hand. Okay, this is how this curve go. This is how that curve go. This is how all these different curves. This is literally like training your muscle memory. But when you it's about It's about like passing off. I know what you mean. It's like you trace something like, okay, there's my art, okay. Yeah, I mean I know what you mean, dog. But like I feel like that would make people scared to like utilize it as like a tool for learning, which is what it should be, you know?
That's a good point you make there.
Yeah, and I seen like I mean every the chat seeing Tansi art right here, dog. This one this had to be my favorite one. You know why?
Really?
I'll tell you why it's my favorite one. It looked like Shakti. I don't know if it's what Star Wars.
Nah.
I really like Star Wars, dog. I don't know as a nerd, but it looked like Shakti from or Senator Amidala, Padme, in her fucking makeup. It looked like that with the little lip thing. Yeah, it looked just like that, dog. But where this one coming from?
This is actually like some random girl from Algeria who just said they like my drawings. Yeah.
When you have international,
Yeah. It wasn't even that good, dog. It's not even nothing like that, dog. She had just said, man, like a picture, and I was like, I drew it. But this was also like, remember I told you, like I had like that emo phase where I was just like drawing, like this is similar to like the kind of like stuff that way, because I was just like, just drawing random, like draw a snake, draw a little flower, and kind of thing. Because I like to draw like animals and as well as like botanical stuff now. So it's like, and I starting to incorporate that more into like certain things I'm drawing.
Your style is very like it's very abstract. I like it. It's a vibey style look, and they kind of like have that humor down too as well, and you like it. I think that's definitely from your.
You could watch some of my older stuff. I'm a bad talk myself a little bit. Ola is in the bottom there. Yeah. Oh shit. What's that? Yeah, that's like the oldest stuff that I have available for people to see. Yeah, this was the original image. This was the original image to what you also.
Look at the growth.
Yeah.
Wow, look at that growth now, boy. Hold on, guys. Take that though. Let's take this in.
Yeah, this was.
This was 2021.
Right, 2021. Let's take this one in, right?
This one was real like heavy leaning into like the anime style.
Right. Let's take this one in. Take it in. Right. Let's go back to the next one. Shit, I see one I really like it. This one fresh.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite from my anime era, dog. You pass it.
It's a look. I pass it because it's looking so different, dog. Look at that. Right.
Now I have a lot of stuff that is archive, dog. Right, archive go crazy.
Jesus Christ, bro. Nah, complete 180.
Oh yeah, was that 20? Oh, that's the next year. Oh shit.
Yeah, complete 180, bro. Somebody said that like, oh my bad, my bad. I just got what better in a year, you know.
That's not even like, I feel like that's just like a that was more or less like that. I feel like that was when I was drawing most in my life.
I feel like what is really helping people art if anybody like want to know too references.
Yeah.
So it's like you draw without references, you just wouldn't get.
My teacher in our school always taught me references is key.
It's key, yeah. So it's like, so I think like when you look at when I was growing up looking at interviews that people like drawing their characters, I think they would just draw it out of the mind and things. So I think okay, there's a professional artists now, and Kim Jong Un them is. That was monster, right? But
monster.
But
R.I.P. Yeah, R.I.P.
Rest his soul. But yeah, like you use a reference. Use 4 references actually.
Yeah, cool.
That,
R.I.P. the goats.
That's why random to be speaking about me when I die.
Yeah.
Because I'm across the world.
R.I.P. Art plug, man. Speaking of that, dog, let me get into the dog now, boy. Oh God.
You want to the France first?
You want the France first?
Yeah,
I was actually, yeah. Actually, yeah, for real. Step into the hot seat now, boy. France was, yeah.
Francois.
No, I have like 2 pages.
I already loving the display picture on this one, dog. Like this art in itself, just real hard. It's just real good. I really like simple art. I like line work as well. All right, let me see what's going on with the Instagram here. Tape Gallery taking a deep dive. You see it?
Go like real deep.
Go super deep.
But now before like we just talk about our freelance.
Hold on, wait, where's this one?
Oh,
That yellow and
we
black
talking
one.
about the plug? No scene.
Yeah. Oh, you want to plug up?
plug in.
So guys, all you could hire me. The dog looking for the money out there. We looking for the millie. We looking for the millie. You know, I mean, we looking to buy the Bugattis and things, so, you know, they had to hire the dog.
I want real hard dog. Go back. Go back.
Not going back.
You're not going back?
That was the going to next round.
Like the dongle, they take the press. That's mad.
Alright, so
Tell us a bit about this one, no?
alright, this one is the name of the piece is All for One, One for All. Again, it was something that was done in collaboration with the Wellness Center. And it was comic book inspired just to show that, you know, to save a group, it just takes one person. And then if you flip the painting around, because you could flip it either way, it's a painting I could flip either way. It takes a community to save one, and it takes one person to save a community, you know what I mean? So and the All for One, One for All, it came from an anime, My Hero. Yeah. So for the people who didn't know, you know, for the people who didn't know now, right? So that's what inspired that now, right? Yeah.
This one looking real bad. I love the blue. I love the color. The blue is really good.
It was it's definitely to show, like, it's supposed to show people drowning, and it's saving the person from drowning now, right?
They're giving us some kind of like real nice. I like
The color.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Thank you.
This is the page here. I really like the I just like to say though.
You know what I say about France? So he art style.
Art style, bro.
He art style is very confident.
Yeah.
You understand where I come from? It's gonna look like I know what I'm doing. Like so, unlike Romany where it's like portraits and you know take a lot more lighting and all that. This is what I was talking about outside, where it's like you know when somebody understand the rules and then they could break it successfully.
Yes.
Compared to you see some artists trying to do like portraits and it's just like not good. Yeah, they go coming from. No, I'm saying, and then people is doing the same style, and again, not good. But in France, I could tell that he understands the rules, and he's choosing to break them now, boy, and he's doing it wonderfully.
Wonderful. I really like this one, boy, because I have like
Thank you.
some drawings like kind of like this where I have like characters. I also like writing my own story, like how you doing right now, writing my own novel. Hopefully, we could share ideas and things. But I had stuff like this. I had a race in one of my stories. It was about an earth that get hit from a nuclear bomb, and all the humans that survive, they get like red skin and kind of look like demons. You know? Yeah, it was just about it. I just doing a small thing now, where that was it. Now I like how it kind of remind me of that race of humans that it's real cool. Where's one come from?
This was I went to a comic convention and I just had some time to kill, and honestly I was now finished playing a game called Cuphead, boy, and one of the main
Oh my fucking
No, that's another fucking art style.
so yeah. So one of the main villains now.
Like just to show how like you could be inspired and do something so good that you know what I mean. And people just be so scared to be like, oh, this inspired me or the thing now, but
that was it. You're saying that you're inspired by me, really, because you're looking inspired by games.
Yeah, like a lot of media, a lot of research and stuff like that.
I was actually scrolling through your Instagram the other day, and I saw a post. I know we've seen real hard shit, guys, so let me relax. I'm going back to it. This one I was really interested in.
So, all right, funny with that, right? If I go into like, I could go into the archives and stuff. I won't. It has some sketchy things there. But what for every year, what I try to do with my brother and I is that I take brothers right from different medias across time and like do art styles. So this one is like Mega Man and X for sure. Then we have Kanye West and 2 Chainz.
That's right. Also, you're different.
Yeah.
It's like yearly?
I do it yearly, yeah.
That's right.
So I do it yearly. So so it started before this actually, but I kind of archived those, right? And then if we scroll up here, we have the Uzumaki. No, sorry,
that's what
Uchiha. Thank you, the Uchiha clan. Then we have Harry Potter here, the Weasley brothers.
I like your art style, bro. I always leaned into a more of like a cartoon
cartoonish art style.
Yeah.
And I always wanted to. You see how like you have kind of like anime tropes within your. And that's what you see how like you have like anime tropes within your comic. Cause I don't feel like I'm pre, right? And I waited for the next chapter. You see how like
Subscribe.
come on.
The subscription. Subscribe.
Webtoon account just to subscribe.
Yeah, I did. I had to make over one new account, dog.
Appreciate that.
You understand? So, but that's just me showing love because I seen men doing it thing now, but like, so like I always like really, I love your art style, but I always wanted to put like the art style like this and have like anime tropes, like and like it would be like Adventure Time, but in a yeah, like I kind of like that. Mhm.
Adventure Time because this is Gravity Falls.
Yes.
You know the twin brothers
Yes.
Stanley and Stanford. So every year like I do this now.
Is that
So-
traditional or digital?
This is traditional.
That I could tell by the texture.
You know what I mean? And it's only because my camera jacked up. Because when I show people it,
No, like I fuck with the texture.
I think traditional work is expensive as fuck.
Yeah.
Right.
These are copy markers.
nah, those are Artex markers.
We use copy markers though.
Yeah. It's
I can't afford that shit.
bro. Here's the trick. You buy one every couple of months.
That's how I was at Micron.
It's crazy.
I bought one tablet 1 year, and that was it. That was it. I buy a tablet, buy a laptop, and that was it. I don't have to buy nothing again. Just had to pay for lights.
I still like to dive into the traditional. I feel like it's still important
No, traditional
to-
is way better though.
to keeping
You
it.
feel better.
Yeah, it's feel much better.
So-
like drawing
I love
pen to
this
paper.
one too, bro.
Yeah, boy.
This one is pure. Dog, I feel like I had to let you talk about it because we talked about it on stream before.
So this one is definitely burnout. You know what I mean? Or they talk about this on stream.
We did talk about it on stream. You
Yeah.
had a little small. If we're running back, you were talking about burnout and it's crazy. There you have it.
Damn.
love it.
Yeah.
So, you know.
So this I was going through some things and I just wanted to I was never a person to draw what I was feeling and stuff like that, draw my emotions and see how Kendrick have like diss tracks. I had this art pieces. Now I'm not gonna call no names or whatever and stuff like that, but some of the pieces on my page right now were from experiences that I had that were not so good now, but and this one is one based on burnout. I was working a place that it wasn't fulfilling. I was
And it
going through
felt
some
like
stuff.
It was, you know.
Yeah, I feel like I wasn't going anywhere. The work wasn't adding up to the coins now, but so it was just like that kind of loop. You know what I mean?
I actually, and the reason I'm saying it's cool is because you're able to like express yourself through that now. Some of it, yeah, I'd be able to express yourself through that now.
Mm.
The emotions through that.
Yeah.
That's what I used to do too. And he talk about that. He talk about being in a state where like he depressed and that's how he end up. He kind of like making art to kind of deal with it.
Yeah.
You know?
Now I want to point out something, right? This is what I mean by putting it out. If you see like, well, the guys who seen it on stream, I missed piece of the leg here that nobody ever noticed. You know what I mean? And I always just say, dog, you gotta put it out first and make it good after.
Yeah, and you could put this out dog and it could always be redrawn.
Yeah.
You know?
Like I do plan to clean it up digitally and stuff eventually. You know what I mean? But yeah.
Things to come on. And then I know you have a lot more. You have a lot more when it comes to. And I know you do this every year. So now I feel like I don't follow and see like every year which one you got to do.
Yeah.
Plan on every year to see what you got.
Yeah. Nah, I didn't. September. So you see, I shout out the goat there, Akira.
This one, bro. I love this.
You know what I mean? I mean, I had to. This took me a little minute because I had to actually practice his style and then draw him in his style.
Yeah.
And I felt like I just needed to pay that homage by dog, by you know what I mean?
I think Akira is.
It's traditional too, man.
Yeah,
Come
traditional.
on, Dragon Ball Z move everybody. I mean, not everybody was in it, but everybody saw Dragon Ball Z. You know? He's a
Yeah.
Naruto man. I know you're biased, but you know Dragon Ball Z move everybody. Now I biased too. Dragon Ball Z have terrible writing.
Naruto for the story though, and that's right.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Well, not for the story, but the feels. Sorry.
We had a anime stream.
But
Like big debates back when I'm
yeah.
I have real takes though.
No, but honestly, you know what's funny?
I can never say no anime make I feel more than Naruto.
I can see plenty of
Plenty anime make me feel more than
Yeah,
I
but
don't understand.
you ever watch March Comes In Like a Lion?
No, I'm not going to watch that either.
I'm going my archives. I'm gonna see if I
Oh
can
no,
find
no,
the
this, you
archives.
can't do it from here.
I'm gonna see if
So,
I
I
can-
have some anime in my
So-
PC that will make you deeper.
No, I lie. So it does have.
I go show you on the
Yeah.
phone.
I see some deeper anime, but in terms of like long running and shonen, Naruto for sure. Don't even mention Hunter x Hunter. Hunter x Hunter. Let me tell you what Hunter x Hunter does lack. At the end of every arc in Hunter x Hunter, has always been let down. They set up such good stories and fights, and then never execute the fight well. No
You
arc,
find out?
no arc ended except for when
No,
except when
no.
Gohan fight
The York New arc was literally peak.
that is the only one. That is the only one. That's what I was about to say. He fights Hisoka at the end of the arc.
Yeah, he fight
And that was
at
it.
the end of the arc.
That was the only one.
Let's see
That was the
this.
only one that was fulfilling. All the others.
Dog, the camera attack was lit too, dog.
I was
Fine, so dog.
no.
And Miruem and fucking Netero.
Yeah, and that fight was good, but it just didn't really fulfill. And then
And what about going crazy, though? I mean, I didn't
Right,
like the
so
outcome
right.
to that,
So-
but I feel like that scene
so
was
here was
just
my
as
thing,
peak,
right?
though.
Here was my thing, right?
Like a whole art show and stuff on Instagram. Like that.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I decided to do like an art show of my own on Instagram. Well, then not loading, yeah.
That's real cool though.
So
Or like a gallery.
yeah,
Shit, I wish we could get this though. This would be real cool to show.
I mean I could sign in on
Oh, you wanna sign, you know, boy?
I don't know.
Nah, I wanna make sure I plug y'all. You know, we wanna see that comic on someone eat out.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
No,
Yeah.
art is subjective. What are the picture? What is bastardizing art?
We getting real questions here, boy.
Art is
What are the hot takes on what is bastardizing now? I not gonna say nothing because I go come under fire, so I gonna plead the fifth on this one, babe. You know what I mean? Let me give Hot Plug the hot seat there.
art. I'm changing. To hot takes on it, boy. That's what I think about. I can't really just hot takes on bastard.
Take, boy.
Like dropping low quality stuff. That's what she basically acting, right? Like
I mean, I feel like bastardizing is more like in terms of like ruining the message or some shit like that. You know, like having art that is just not for the right reasons.
so. Come to the conclusion that we don't know what bastardizing means. If she can bring that to me, if she can bring that to me, in,
Bastardizing.
Way back, double
if she can bring that to me in better terms, I'll be happy to answer.
So
Alright, let me see.
I wanna get all and compile all.
Good. I feel like I start with this one, I don't know, because it just, bro, we talking about this, and we was like, this too clean, boy, so simple but so clean, bro.
And he do this in less than an hour. Just let me just throw that out there. This is less than an hour, okay, brethren.
I had half an hour. He sent me thing. I was like, they were going Paul, but I was like, look, when 2 o'clock, I have half an hour between 2 to 2:30. I'll do something. So it had to.
I will poster this dog. I done.
Nah, this.
And we,
Best we start our podcast.
Bro, this could be a t-shirt right here, you know?
yeah, I will poster and everybody had to sign it, dog.
Oh, they had a tape gallery t-shirt, the concert thing.
No.
I needed one of that where I really wanted to get one.
Yeah, so we gonna mix some more. We gonna get some more guys.
Boy, it looked like an actual concert tee. I really wanted one.
Fresh.
No. That was done in less than a half an hour. That's just to show how bad the dog is. You think?
The dog bad. So, I really like this one, dog. Thank you for this one, dog. From the tape gallery team, dog. This one is real fresh, dog. I like how Francois look at the most in this one. I looking fresh in this one, dog. But and Romani have and Romani look. I find everybody looking just like it.
Yeah, how about that?
Bro.
Yeah, boy.
Gucci box, the Gucci box.
Wow, boy. So, I think it's that time, you know.
So
It's that time. It's that time. It's that time.
So
So here's this, right?
Shut by Michael first.
I'm easy like Sunday morning. That's why I'm easy.
Dog. Hold on, huh? And how one he looked like when he was toting our feelings, dog.
But now when he buys
This it? That was my favorite, dog.
No, so the thing about it is like, so I'm posting a poll, the comic outside, everybody like go and read it, and everybody going and read it, and the views going up, but the comic and a competition, the people not going to the people interested unless they subscribe and comment. They think the views don't really matter at the end of the day now, boy. So it's like I see the views going up and nobody like can comment or subscribing.
I'll make sure and go and subscribe and comment.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
So that's
Tell
the
the
way.
people on them.
Yeah,
Well,
so
make sure and do what?
go and art plug. First of all, the link in the bio, right? You cannot search it. If you're going to Google search it, you have to search Keepers on Webtoon. You can't go on Webtoon and search Keepers.
The link in the bio. When I look at the right thing,
The link,
okay.
the link is in the bio.
So we're gonna do a small breakdown. So give me a small breakdown of what Keepers is about.
All right. And I'm on Cranberry Island.
I don't wanna.
Alright,
Don't cheat it.
so Keepers is basically the Jujutsu Kaisen in the Caribbean.
Okay.
Now it wasn't meant to be that way.
Mm.
It's like if so I do this comic like 3 or 4 times before, and Jujutsu Kaisen has happened to come out with a similar premise. You understand where I'm coming from? So I just keep rocking with what was my original idea, and you know what I mean, it's still in the Caribbean. It's still
No,
so-
but it will be different because from what I read, it's
well, yeah.
completely
So-
different. I didn't get you to Kaisen, to be honest.
Well, in terms is an organization fighting monsters.
Yes.
That is the most.
That's it, yeah,
Kaisen
that's the
thing.
most
If
thing
you,
about it,
yeah. But I would say though, after Naruto, the next inspiration for my comics is Berserk. So the monsters and all that come from Berserk.
And I see, bro, we had to go through. I want to go
Yeah, now your rendition of the Sukunya.
I had to go through
Right.
the first chapter.
So
Yeah.
What?
Every time you mention Berserk, you had to mention Griffin as a panty man.
I like that for
Like
So,
as a panty man, as he embodied the character. Sure. Yeah.
well, Griffith do a lot to get where he was, eh?
And not wrong with that. I think Griffith golden mine. You know, long I chase in this comic, I just like Griffith. Griffith, I like this one. Griffith focus. I just as focus. I will sacrifice all my friends for it.
So I want
hey,
yo.
I mean,
So so I just wanted to show everybody in the Tape Gallon stream. Right, this is Keepers. I have been tuned in for a while now. Right, I take a little read in the first. So I just
the initial like one night did before.
no. I read it first. I take a. This was the first. Yeah. But I wanna show my favorite part of the comic itself is always the, for me, for any anime, any manga, anything like that. You don't know what I'm talking about. But wait, number first, I'll go and get you the mic. Once you're able to pull me into your story, dog, from the start, bro, yeah, man, forever, dog. That's it. Never tell shows like Naruto, dog. When we see oh yeah, man. When I see men literally fighting a giant demon fox in a village, you had me, dog. So for me, for this, dog, when they give me like and I read Solo Leveling a while back, though. This give me a real Solo Leveling vibes. And I know you never. I don't know if you ever did. Anybody ever? I don't know. I don't think you. Not that I like Solo Leveling. The story kind of get linear. I'm not gonna lie. Your story is better than Solo Leveling story.
Thank you.
So far.
Thank you.
I don't know where it's going. So far. I know I get it. Your story is better than Solo Leveling so far. The reason being is because it's not linear. Solo Leveling is just about a man getting stronger and stronger and stronger. You have a lot more. So look at this, dog. Like all of this, dog, what the man was talking about is like a lot of people don't see like all of this, the monsters, different monsters he's showing you. All of that, dog, I really like that. And it's kind of like how you kind of show the symbolism with it now, man. It's like, and you didn't really show too much now. I love that, dog. You understand? And the fact that you're putting in the, I'm gonna get the mic just now, and I want you to talk about it. You're putting in your local culture, the Sequoia, the Jumbies, all of this thing. Tell me a little bit about that, and how we're kind of mixing it in the art.
Okay, so
Any challenges, you know?
Alright, so for the shonen tropes is just to grab people.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like
Definitely.
to me, if I start a new anime today and it lacking them tropes, you know what I mean? Like I want to see a plucky main character. I want to see a character that like Gojo or Kakashi that understands the world and I can learn the world through them. But then I also need a character that don't know nothing to ask the relevant questions.
Correct.
So I can learn the world. So I try to put in all the tropes for that. The reason I went with local folklore is because I come to find out that well, Jujutsu Kaisen is based on basically a lot of folklore, and so was the Nightingale Fox, which was the original the Nightingale Fox in Naruto, which was based on a lot of their local folklore. So, but when I looking at Naruto, I was always like, this idea is so new and so fresh, and it's just because I didn't grow up here in it. So I decided to take that same thing in terms of it are people around the world that never hear about a Sukuna, never hear about a Lagahu. Understand? So it's like the idea of a Sukuna shedding the skin. You know what I mean? Like I could just imagine somebody fight somebody and then it's like you can't beat them until you have to find the skin. I was like, what the fuck? I didn't see this nowhere else. So that's why I was like, you know what, I'm going to lean into the tropes rather than lean into the folklore tropes rather than lean into anime tropes. You understand? So the only tropes I'm going with from the anime would be like the characters and things, just to, you know, because the things that works to sell to push the story.
Beautiful.
I think like reading it, that was like one of the things I appreciate the most, like that final fight against Tsukunya, and it was like you had to find the skin. I was like, shit. It was like, this is.
I don't want spoilers.
I don't fucking care. That was hard though. I was so happy that you
Spoilers for those who didn't read it. Yeah?
God, I was trying to
Wait, hold on. We had to drop a spoiler warning.
So what I would say though, is the Sukuna was supposed to come a lot later. To be honest, like a lot of the characters, because I feel like the idea is so good that I wanted to keep them for later on where I could, because I feel like in this part of the story I can't flesh out I wanted it to be a longer fight, but this early in the story I can't put, like, you know, because we don't know the characters and all that, you know what I mean? So I was really struggling with should I put this here? But then I was like, somebody convinced me, you know what, since it's in the competition I have 3 episodes to grab attention. I was like, just pay it out, you know what I mean? Just pay it, just do it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Back to the franchise. All right. Yeah. So yeah. What I would say though, in terms of tropes, what I will not be doing is making the characters that everybody's be like, we're not gonna have the characters was like, oh, you feel he could be Superman. I don't think my character's going and be like getting overpowered. I think for the sake of the story and for the sake of having the main character being the most powerful.
Let me squash the Superman thing one time, right?
It was a reference.
DC Comics makes Superman to be the best hero ever. The man have powers that we don't even know about because that's the whole point of him being Superman. Nobody in no genre ever, in no medium ever could beat Superman because that's how Superman was designed. Right? We squashing that Superman beef one time. Superman could turn back time though. Like,
I didn't mean Superman in per se.
So I just need to squash that one because because I didn't want to spoil and I want people actually read your webtoon. No, I don't want to show them too much now. Yeah, that's why I say no, boy.
So we're not giving Tanti back the mic. He's spoiling it. Yeah.
I didn't know, but I understand, bro. Don't worry, dog. But I want men to actually see this shit, bro. Like, actually go and read this shit, bro. I go and show them the first. This is one of my first my first experiences. Really?
Yeah,
and what?
So I get to see a little bit more. Okay. And he and like it better to come, dog. Like the story that it developing and stuff. And again, I commend him on the speed of which he putting out these panels, dog. So
the thing I had to do, and actually do the I was gonna say the monologue was the last thing I did. Right? I think when you saw it, had the monologue yet? No. Right, so the monologue, so it's like I was finishing everything and I was like reading it back and I was like, so as a big fan of show not tell. But then I was reading it like it missing something. Nah, scroll through. I feel like something will grab them.
This is what I want to. I like this.
No, that's my favorite panel.
Bro, what?
That's my favorite panel.
Here's one, right? I really like this. This is like a who fight, right?
Yeah.
Right. So, and I was gonna ask you how much research is put into the, because I know we do a lot of folklore.
Yeah.
Because this is where we can kind of go back, and a lot of people want to say that we as artists we culture and look at the man, look what they fighting. It have the chains that they talk about where you see a lot where is be rattling the chains.
So what would say? Alright.
Please.
So again, this is not the first time I try that comic. So
Yes.
the research has been done over years.
Yes.
And what I would say is because with the Lager, who specifically it has so much of different variations, I feel like is a character I could bring back with different looks and you know what I mean, compared to the Secunda, which will probably be the same if it does come back.
He's the goat, man. He's the good boy. The man take it, the man tank it, boy. No, alright.
But again, I also show his inexperience compared to the other character.
Nah, but here's one. Alright.
But again, this was the last episode I did. Think
It's
episode 1 was the last one because it was setting up everything.
Yeah.
So it had to come good.
Yeah.
Like so I started and then I was like, I ain't too sure, boy. I know episode 2 was going to be. Episode 2 was the lead up to the fight. Episode 3 was the fight. Them easy to push out.
But
Episode 1 is the grabber.
Yeah,
Episode 1 is the grabber. So
man, grab me, bro. He actually. What do you think? Yeah. He really did grab me.
So I get a chance to see it before in the development stages and stuff like that, right? When I tell you nothing much, like he asking me for critiques, dog, and I did like, dog, is minor things, dog.
But I would say, I asked him, he don't hold back. When I do other comics, I'll be like, dog, what's going on? He will send me a whole list of things, like this final thing. And again, that goes back to people telling, they're like when you do something, I tell them, boy, it's not good. And
Yeah.
right? But in my head, I want to get it because I don't want to see them.
No, and the thing is, like, in terms of like things that was changing, dog, like for instance, it was real minor things, dog. Like it was just to like brighten up the aura so you could see it better. You know what I mean? The action line so the viewer could see it. And it had it. That's it, you know.
That's all you need. Well, you see, sometimes you need that support, huh?
No, wait, hold on. This is the thing. He actually mentioned it. Johnny actually mentioned it earlier today. Like you get so caught up in the details that sometimes you just forget the fundamentals now, boy. You know what I mean? And when you're doing a comic, and again, 3 weeks webtoon, you know, he doing it at speed and stuff. It's easy to forget the fundamentals, so it's be like, nah, I just had to put it out thing, whatever. But when you're doing it for competition, you know, it's a little bit different. You know what I mean?
And I was saying, Jemai.
I kind of wanted to talk about like the layering you do for like the dust and shit for this dog. I remember when you were starting off and you was like asking me questions about like layering and stuff like the last one we was doing. Yeah, and I really like how yeah, it had like so much atmosphere to the thing that I was doing. Like that's something that I really like appreciated.
To that, actual crash, you actually
like
that.
Even how the dust was like over the crash and everything, yeah.
And that impact of the he's showing impact within his drawing. That impact, he's showing the impact.
Bro, but he was supposed to be part of the process too, like I was asking him.
I love this panel too, bro. Just saying, sorry for cutting it.
This panel was redrawn like 8 times. Like the pose here was redrawn like 8 times. Like I drew this panel like 8 times, and then like even this one I was satisfied with because I was feeling like it should be a little bit more dynamic. But time was running out.
But as I say, you know,
I like how the character.
I like how the yeah, she kind of like it, bro.
So that's something I do plenty because with webtoons, because of the scroll format, you can bring it and it don't seem like you overdo that compared to like in traditional, you have the panels on top and all that, but at the same time, I was trying not to overdo it for it to become like okay. Boring.
Yeah.
So I started to like consider, okay, is this a good place to break the panel? Because sometimes I'll break the panel for like something as simple as I just want to draw the hair. I just want to make the hair look cool here now, boy, and it's just that much hair.
So I gonna end all it off right here though, because this is the reveal that everything, you know, I kind of just want to end it off right here, right? I ain't gonna show anything else. So fellas, I feel like I should let Jemai do the honors. Tell everybody why they should view the webtoon on what it is the purpose of this now, but like. I let him say it. I don't know.
I have a few reasons.
One, if you want to see me eat, yeah, shit. You should definitely. definitely
That's the first thing. Yeah.
We hung.
definitely eat.
Men hungry.
Yeah. But I mean, aside from that, I feel like with the right support, we could have something. And I think we are in terms of like Trinidad and the Caribbean as a whole. We could have something in the anime space. And I say anime space because there's how Naruto starts up, there's how Solo Leveling starts up and all that, boy. You know what I mean? So with the right push, we can have something in the anime space that is us and represents us now, boy. You think? Because so the main character, I tried to model him off of like people I see on a regular day. You know what I mean? The hairstyle and everything. I didn't try to do too much because I want. To me, a big thing is I like Comic Cons, but I don't feel like I look like nobody.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, skin color and all that, but yeah, they got me even what they're wearing. So I was like, I keep the clothes and all simple. So if it comes down to a Comic Con, it's something you can pull out of your closet and you can go there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So everything, the suit and everything.
I like that though, and you kind of you didn't make him too crazy. You know, you have the gray hair and thing. That's even black.
That's the thing. Yeah,
That's the
so,
only
so I
thing.
need him to stand out a little
Stand
bit. So
out
I
a
just give
little
him the white hair.
The white
But
hair.
Protagonist.
Yeah, the protagonist.
Yeah.
He's the protagonist.
yeah, but other than that, I kept everything simple with
Everything
everybody. You know, no crazy hairstyle.
Explain it everything.
I dread.
Yeah.
The Yugi Moto hairstyle.
Moto hairstyle.
I dread, you know, even with the when I was given the next character, the purple hair, I was kind of like, I don't want to do this, but to understand that the variation in colors and all that with
And I just wanna
Now to go away from the comic for a bit, right? All it just peep some of the work this man.
Please peep some of the hard work this
You know what I mean? Look at this consistency here. Look at this consistency here. All it just peep.
again, when you see four pictures together, that was done in one night. You know?
I know we talk about the comic and stuff and all you going and read that for sure. We don't have to tell all of that. Look at this consistency there. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Scrolling or you're watching.
Like now all you have to go on this page all yourself and stop and look at whatever. It's just too much. Look, I still scrolling.
Why you don't do something with your nice stuff?
You see, I still scroll. You seeing.
Just get some things on
You see, now if you have kids, you know, it's a little not safe for work, but that's small thing, you know what I mean? Look at that. Look, and I still go in. You understand what I'm showing you? This is the consistency.
And this is where it comes from too.
So he
But I needed the hardest to do a comic. You need the hardest kind of.
Hey, shout out Sonny, dog.
Doing a comic is a
You know what I mean?
It's not for the weak.
Look at that. You know what I mean? That is consistency we talking about. That is the consistency we talking about. You know what I mean?
So you come from far too. I remember time men dropping tapes on is your men dropping tapes on is your art, bro. Facts, dog.
I had to stop doing all of that because again, I was getting pushed into a place where my art was getting, pushed into that now where people just coming to me for music covers and things. And I know I want to do comics. You know what I mean? So I had to start turning on stuff. I had to start changing my paying out and all that because
sometimes you have to. And then it's a stepping stone too. Now look, I get to know you from you do.
yeah,
that,
but
you know?
and that's what so my interaction was a lot more before because I was paying a lot of people wanted to see because of the audience I built. Now the audience don't want to see comics. I'm struggling for people to read the comic because my audience built off of this kind of stuff now, boy. You understand? So that was a mistake I make, and that's what I was saying.
I want to say something with your name too.
Yeah, because the whole so I could still continue this, but I would have to keep doing stuff like this. And with the Jamai guys, I would just do my comic stuff now, boy. I don't want to mix it.
I feel like they would come around and appreciate it because again, it's just a next evolution in you as an artist, you as a creative and stuff like that. So I wouldn't discount it. You know what I mean? I mean, you might have to change your name from Jigaboo, but I small thing. You know what I mean?
I disagree with that because a lot of the people start following me over certain pieces that went viral. So I did a piece with Rebel 6. And that went a little bit viral.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, you understand? I was seeing that everywhere, and I don't see my art. Plus, I was seeing the art. That one, I was seeing it everywhere now, boy. So it's people coming to me because of Trinidad and then expecting more Trinidad. So if I join next Rebel 6, the interactions just come in. And when I do anything else, unless it's sexual or it really hits with some people, I really don't get the interactions like that. The comic stuff, I would post Rebel 6 today and get, let me just say, average 500 likes, and post a comic thing right after and get 50 likes. Like they're not fucking, they're not,
Yeah.
they're not fucking with it.
Yeah.
They're not, they're not fucking with it. You dig what I mean? So I just want to do what I want to do now, but I'm passionate about something. So, and I can sacrifice that for likes.
So I know we didn't really peep on my page, my business page and stuff, but I understand what you mean, dog. 'Cause if you go on my business page, dog, I have like 200 followers, dog. The same exact post I posted on my personal page, yeah. The same exact post. Less interactions and stuff. So I understand what it is in terms of like switching audiences and stuff like that, right, dog? But I understand. And just like how you want to build comics and you doing your thing, I can't even narrow it down to one thing because you just did so much things, you know what I mean? I want to do that streetwear brand because I believe like we have real stories. Trinidad and Tobago, we have real stories to tell. Yeah, you know what I mean?
I feel like I definitely like, especially because I do so much different things. I definitely like agree with you. Like how you could post one thing today and then get like so much likes and so much interaction, and then you post something that you might be a little bit more passionate about, and then you get like a 50. Like when I had start back posting like my drawings and stuff, it was not doing as good as my photography. It definitely wasn't, and
Yeah.
yeah.
Let me be fair, though. The photography was peak,
No, I mean, but like, I
I
feel.
we gotta come back and we gotta take a tap back with everybody. Gotta
Mm.
come back on our personals at one point.
Yeah.
At a point in time, I thought you and Luigi Chris was the same person, you know.
You mad, dog.
No,
Dog, Luigi is like my Luigi is mad, dog. You mad, dog. Luigi is peak. No, don't even say that.
Shout out Luigi, right? So when I saw the ones that looked like
I don't know audio, but yeah, I know audio.
So
Damn.
Sorry, but what I would say about audio in terms of the local space is, I feel like, like for me, it's like it's just based in Trinidad. Like it had too much of Japanese references, I think, and personally, that just feel, like out of place for me. You know what I mean? Like you're basing this in Trinidad, right? And then it's like they're training in a Japanese thing. Like we have so much stuff you could pull from, and you know what I mean. But I would say with audio too, what audio feel like to me, and I love audio. Eh? This is not me thinking. This is just me as a thing looking. What audio feel like to me is Fast and the Furious or Mission Impossible in terms of this is all for the bros. You know what I mean? It don't have the actual substance that I want from my story. But his art is so good, I'll keep reading. You know what I mean? And he had the overpowered characters that you want to, but his story not bad though, so it is still very engaging. I find this current season a little bit less engaging, but I will still push you because you know what I mean. But yeah. Not about support. It's still still good. He inspired my work in terms of like art wise, how good I want to push to be. You know what I mean? I talked to Brent a few times. He gave me a little tips on backgrounds. I think to like getting it done quick and all that, boy, for a comic. But I would say it lacking that certain je ne sais quoi in the story where it's like take him to feel something. He's great at the cliffhangers. Like I always wondering what's gonna happen next, but I don't really feel attached. I don't feel like what I felt reading Naruto. Like when I see Gaara backstory for the first time as a child, tears in my eyes. Where they go coming from?
That's a lot to say.
Where they go coming from?
Yeah,
Even Attack on Titan, while it ended terribly, that evokes some emotion. Demon Slayer evoke emotion, you know what I mean? And to me, that is what I want to do with my work now, boy. Evoke emotion before having people be like, okay, I think your character can be Superman. Like, that is the last thing I want. If it happens to end up there, like when I write it happen to end up there, then cool. My character can be Superman, but I want people to feel stuff.
Yeah, no, and that's the most important thing too, though. I feel like that's the most important thing, because it has helped when they could relate to our characters when they will continue watching.
Sure.
I relate to Naruto.
I think the only character that has made it without me being able to feel something is Goku. I don't know how Goku do it, probably because he was the first. but other than that, like a lot of the stories, why want these people to come back to the story years from now? Which is why they do with Naruto. Naruto will always be a reference. Berserk make me feel shit. You see when the twist when the eclipse happened, I was home like, what the fuck? I was like, there's not the same show. You know what I mean? That make me feel shit now, boy. You know where I'm coming from? And it's like I'll always go back to watching Berserk and Naruto because of what I felt now, boy. You dig? And have shows I will never go back to watching. You know what I mean? Like people just always go off on the show. Avatar: The Last Airbender, great show. I just didn't feel none. it was a great show for the culture, and I just don't feel nothing. No, but fair. Okay, so here what it is, right? So in Japanese storytelling, you could tell that is about the meat of the story and not the end. Right? You could tell like how much it is focused on what's going on, right? Compared to Western tropes, it's always like everything is that means to the end now, boy. And I feel like Avatar The Last Airbender kind of fall victim to that. You dig what I mean? So the story format in terms, like I think most episodes was done in the 19 to 20 minutes that I had, like start to end, compared to Naruto. And then we have arcs. You think it's like every episode when you finish, you need to watch the next episode to know what's going on. Every episode of Avatar could kind of stand alone once you understand the original premise.
That's true.
Understand? So it breaking the emotion now. The emotion that you could hold on to drag into it breaking down now.
Hold on. So to shine light on that, right? Because Young Justice creator and Teen Titans creator talk about this. They don't know when they're gonna get cut off, right? So they always have to do everything as if it's the final show. So if they didn't have that and they had the room to do it and stuff like that, we probably would have gotten a more dynamic storytelling. It's literally just at the end of the day, dog, we talking art, we talking passion, but the men with the money, dog. You know what I mean?
Going into that same thing, like going off of what you said, like the reason like Avatar is that way because of the episodic show, because it's like on fucking Nickelodeon, dog. That's literally the reason that I was constrained to that box. But even in that vein, they still try to add arcs in terms of like the book 1, book 2. You know, this book he learn and talk, this book he trying to learn this, whatever, and it does have like overarching stories and recurring characters and callbacks and stuff like that. So I feel like they try to do the best with what they had, you know.
So, again, I didn't say it's not a bad story, and I like it. It's just that everybody else is be like, you know what I mean? But she's saying here that audio didn't hold her because of the first story arc.
Everybody looking like they vibes and shit ain't cool. Let me tell you one time. Let me see. Big up yourself, Jesus. I wish you could be here online with all the other artists, but you would have loved to be here with all them, boy. Right, but Tape Gallery, I hope all enjoying the vibe so far. We had Jemai on, we had Tanti on, we had Francois on. You understand? I know it's not art plug no more. So Jemai now, formerly known as art plug. Right, so I just want to thank each and all of you. I just individually for coming. Right, I want to thank everybody on Tape Gallery for viewing. And just kind of like, giving us a chance to showcase, like everybody a chance to showcase now, boy. And I want to come back, dog. Like, I want to come back online.
Yeah, we linemen. No,
For real, 10 minutes? Yeah.
No.
I started driving, I was like, it's
Now listen here, everybody. You're going on follow Tape Galleries, right? We following Tape Galleries. Right. Really, tell your friends, tell your tanty, tell your auntie, and not this tanty. Tell your auntie and then and your uncle, tell everybody. We following Tape Galleries.
Anything else you want to say to the people and them? Last word to the people and them.
I would say follow Painter Supply Company. You know, we doing big things across there. We always shameless here. Follow Tanti Romney, follow Art Forum, follow Art Plug. Subscribe to the fucking comic. Subscribe to the webtoon. We need the likes. You can't just read. We need the likes. We need the subscribers. You understand?
Tell them.
Just reach to the Secunia. Just make sure you reach to that fight now, please. I ain't spoiling, but
Don't say I say.
All you need to think about the comment, just put that bad. That bad. Fire emoji, that bad. I just like thank you all for like having me here, like that kind of vibe.
I know we started off a little iffy, but I had fun.
I definitely had fun. I enjoyed it.
It was fun, man.
I enjoyed the vibe, and yeah, thanks for being here. Thanks for Jemai for inviting me. I didn't even know it was Tape Gallery I was coming on. He's just like, hey, I have an artist talk Tuesday coming.
Yeah, because at first, nobody was sure. Like he wasn't sure like if he was gonna come and all that. But so I was like, and I didn't know if you know too. So.
Nah, but that's good. I'm glad they come though because we get to share the vibes with everybody.
You get to share the vibes with everybody. And then also kind of show, Tape Gallery that we have a lot more than just, because we had music artists all. So we have a lot more than just Dana, but like we have people who actually taking the photos, people who drawing the art, people who in the background now, and they're actually doing it now. You understand? Any last words, dog, Jemima?
That's it.
Oh God, that's it.
We will talk.
But subscribe to keep us. That's it.
That's it, right? All I don't know is the scene.
I just want to say, guys, sorry for the mic issues and the audio issues in the beginning.
Pick up the engineer one time.
But next stream, we go have a sort out, right? So, before they come back, it's goodness.
I know if they're coming back. They're coming back, you hear me?
Tell them like and subscribe, Francois.
Like and subscribe.
And we out.
You understand? We outside.